All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast number 25 with Novesey. Novesey, what up, King?
Hello, Mr. Sater. It is a absolute pleasure that you invited me to be on here. I'll be
Oh,
honest.
I'm honored that you said yeah. And to be honest, like I think we've been friends for a while on like Twitch at least. Like I think we've known each other for
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
I've
even
seen
know
your
how long.
name over the years. I've seen
Yeah.
your name a lot, so yeah.
But you know what is it is an honor to have you on because anytime I have a streamer that I knew before I ever started streaming, it's like kind of like celebrity, a little bit of celebrity, you know. Same with BF Rocket when I had him on, it's just like, oh my god, like,
Yeah, I really liked your cast with him.
yeah, it was
It was
nice.
fun to listen to you too.
But it's nice having you on because I used to watch you. Like I remember that clip. The one clip I remember of Novosy, like first clip was that Jace clip where Jace guessed the like master casket. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah,
was.
and then that's kind of how I found you. I don't know where I saw that clip at. Maybe some highlight, maybe some budget behemoth highlights. I saw it and then started watching you.
Yeah, could be that. It was also the clip that was used for my Golden Gnome nominee for that year.
Oh,
So that
hmm,
could have been it as well, but it might have been some like maybe even back in the day with like Chris Archie or
yeah,
Sparkmac or something like that.
yeah,
When people used to yell that instead of yelling Behemoth nowadays.
yeah. No, but it's a privilege to have you on, man, and I'm excited to talk. We got quite a few topics from the Twitter thread, and there are some. There, unfortunately, and fortunately, I guess we have a bunch of updates coming out in the next few weeks, and so we
Correct.
still can't like hit on them like fully because they're not out yet. But at the same time, this
Hmm.
is like one of the last casts where like it's still all up in the air, and we can kind of talk about our thoughts of it go
Yeah,
of
you
updates. But yeah,
might be better to get some good PVMers on for those, because we got mainly got some bigger PVM things coming
yeah,
up.
no, for sure. I've been a lot of people have been asking to get what's his face. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna space it now. God damn it! I shouldn't have even brought this up because I should have remembered the name first. Who's the guy that is really good raider? This is so pathetic, dude.
Lake.
No, it's I'm literally gonna remember his name. It's gonna be horrible. It's like Adicon. It's like a Adicon 2.0 basically, like the other streamer. This is horrible,
Oh.
dude. This is horrible. We gotta cut this shit out. I can't remember his name right now. I promise I know who this guy is. We were talking about it on the Port Kazard cast. God damn it. You know what? You know
Oh
who I'm talking
man.
about? The really good, like talented PVMer
Oh
streamer.
man.
That's
I It's on the
this
tip of
is
my
horrible.
tongue.
The deeper we go down this hole, it's making me look so bad. Anyway, moving on. I'll think of his name in a second. This is horrible because
Yeah.
he's actually pretty well up there. But
Yeah.
anyway, God, I'm like cringing so hard right now. Anyway, let's move. This is bad. Anyway, let's move on. But yeah, we do have PVMers planned. That's the moral of the story. We got PVMers planned.
Yeah.
Anyway, but let's go on with the some of the I guess topics. But first, I want to cover my first topic that I like to ask guests is how did you get into old school RuneScape, and or I guess RuneScape in general, and what like just kind of your origin story, I should say.
Yeah. So I honestly have like very little memory of playing the game. I only have a few vague memories of when I was like younger playing this game. I did play when I
We'll
was
go
younger.
Kirby. Okay, god damn it. Anyway,
Oh my god.
it was on the tip. Literally, I could not think of it. I was like, it has some sort of like Kirby, like melee Smash Bros. Person. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just
He'd
took it.
definitely be amazing to get on. Yeah.
It just took me to shut up for a few seconds to think of it. God damn it. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so no, I only have a few vague memories of when playing when I was younger. And then old school I started playing when at the end of 2014 I started playing, and I was a friend of mine, a Dutch friend of mine. I was in a group that played a lot of Call of Duty together, and we kind of crumbled apart already. I barely had any contact with them anymore, but this one friend of mine, his name is Jono. I still was in pretty good contact with him, and for some reason we ended up on RuneScape, and we started like off together, just playing together, and I barely had any idea of how things worked. I was very clueless, And over time, I just got more and more involved in the community, started watching YouTube and everything, and that's just how that all got started.
Who were the YouTubers that you used to watch back in the day?
I honestly mainly watched like highlight clips from like Chris Archie, Spark Mac, and stuff. I was one of those highlight watchers. I did that daily, like or like at night in bed on my
Yeah.
phone. I would watch them. I guess the main like person I remember watching is Bodhi, like his One Man Army series.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that's when I really started getting into the game. I feel like that's for so many people. That's the main thing that got them into old school or like got them into playing hard. Is his One Man Army series?
So
It's so good.
that was before. So I have watched maybe 3 episodes of that, and that was just like a year ago when somebody had mentioned it. But I wasn't around when that was so big. But that was before Iron Man was a thing, right?
Yes, so he played the Iron Man style, but the official game mode was not out yet.
Okay.
Him and Paul started doing that. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's pretty cool. Like, it's I don't know. Iron Man is so it's such a beautiful game mode. When
It
like I
is.
don't know, it's just cool that we have it. Imagine a world where we didn't have Iron Man, where everyone's still a main. Like, can you
I
imagine that?
really I just can't imagine that, to be honest. Like how this game would be nowadays without Iron Man mode.
It is really weird because like I played a main for a while, like a year
Mhm.
probably and a half, but like yeah, it gets to the point where you just kind of like are going for GP or you're going for pets, and then it's like if you're not
Yep.
super inspired to do, if you're not just super motivated and stuff to do that kind of
Hmm.
stuff, it kind of
Yeah.
burns you out. But yeah,
I
so yeah,
I
sorry.
wanted to say is that I played a main for almost 4 years before I swapped over to my iron. So
And you had a beast main though. That's the difference between you and me. Like I had a shit main.
like, how far did you get into the
Like I
game on
was
your main?
probably like 1850 total.
Oh,
Just
okay.
total noob. I had 99 range and I would camp wyverns for money. Like I was noob status, dude.
I mean, that was the big money maker
That's
back in the
true,
day,
but
honestly.
like to main screen that, like you know what I mean. Like you're not alting that. I mean, that's just like that
Yeah.
is like what you do. It's just camp wyverns, but
Yep.
yeah. So what was the I guess deciding factor to switch over to an Iron Man?
So, if you want a completely honest answer, I was very held back about it because I honestly, up until I like started playing Iron, I was still enjoying my main a lot. Like, I was still having a lot of fun just going for pets. I think when I like started playing my Iron, I was at 29 pets on my Iron on my main account, and I was still very motivated to go for that. Like that was like 2.5 years ago. So at the time, that was quite a lot. I wasn't like up there with the highest pet hunters, but I was definitely like a decent amount on the
Yeah.
way there. I think whenever I was at that count, there was like less than 40 pets at that point,
Oh
and now we're
wow.
at 48. Yeah,
So that was when Casey was like basically hard camped at like Bloodhound for
yeah.
4 years
Casey
or
was like
whatever.
the rank one pet hunter at the time. He was like the big name
Such a
in there.
rip, dude. So unfortunate being him.
He, yeah, you got fucked over very hard.
Like, oh god.
Yeah, I honestly like I really enjoyed watching Casey back then as well. I did a lot of corp with him. Like when he would go for corp, he got fucked over for the corp pet too. Like
Yeah.
I think it was 18,000 he did for that pet.
Yeah, it must
And
have 17, 18,000, something like that.
that was like back in the day when we all used games necklaces. The corp was still the massive cave, so you had to run all the way
Oh
from the
yeah.
far entrance to there, and the only spec down weapon was a BGS. Dragon Warhammer was not in the game yet.
Didn't
Uh,
people I want to say people used like the dual arena to lower or to bring their stats back. Is that true? Or for some was
yes,
that for Corp? Can't even
yeah. For a
remember.
while, that's what people did. People would duel each other quickly to get
Jesus.
their spec back.
So that's so
Yeah.
different to what we have
Th-
now.
Thinking back on that, it's just ridiculous to think how overpowered things like the POH are now, or like the Desert Emmy.
Oh yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still the POH pool is so OP.
It
Like
is.
so OP. That thing should be like charged on the daily. Like you should, I don't know, be pouring resources into that thing to keep using it, I feel like. But then again, everyone would have an outcry if that ever happened, actually.
Yeah, it's almost, yeah, like I hate saying like it's too late to go back now, but it pretty much is.
Yeah, it's you know what I think would be cool? And like I know, I'm a firm believer it's never too late, but at the same time, is it really worth it? Like that's what it comes down to. Like, is it worth the change or is it fine as is? But I think what would be cool is if the POH pool could almost be like a gold sink where you pay your butler and he refills it automatically almost. You just pay him a fee. And it doesn't have to be that insane, but just something where it's like, okay, there's something coming out of the game by using this super convenient pool every single time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess the problem with that is that the Desert Emmy would have to be rebalanced too, or would you keep that the same way?
The thing about the Desert Emmy is, it's like, it's not as OP as the pool. Okay, so it's got like obviously the +7 HP heal, but it doesn't bring your lowered stats up. That's
true. Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know what you would do with it. Whatever. I don't know. Just keep it as is. It's busted as hell. But
I mean, I like that idea though. Like similar to how when you're training con, it takes a fee every like 10 times.
Yeah.
You bring stuff to the bank or take stuff from the bank. Just do something similar to that. Yeah.
It is super OP, and it's crazy looking back though. Like I remember Curtis used to use Nightmare Zone or something to.
Oh, in the beginning of his corp grind?
Yeah, just stuff like that. Yep. Just like, what is going on? We have it so easy now. Dude, watch them come out with like an Eternal Games necklace one of these days.
Oh my.
Let's say
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's say you get your like chess elo. They brought out chess into the game. Bring your chess elo up to like 2,000 or something, and then you get an unlimited games necklace teleport for being a grandmaster at games. So everyone's just using the chess engines or whatever to boost. Just imagine that. No, but yeah, we have it really easy nowadays with how convenient the game is. But it is cool looking back.
I think more realistically, it could probably be like added to the unique Slayer, superior Slayer table later on.
Like Eternal Sapphire?
Yeah, or like more eternal stuff, yeah. Because people seem to be fan of that.
Yeah. I just want them to come out with an Eternal Ring of Wealth from the Fountain of Ruin. The same way. You could charge it the same way as the Eternal Glory. I don't know if they'd want to like recycle that, I guess, but that seems pretty balanced.
That would bring back some activity there, I think. Yeah. In the beginning, definitely, but
activity is any possible way to bring out people with free loot.
Yeah, I mean they love that. I honestly think they would love that idea just because
they would love it.
Yeah, will the activity related? It's like, yep, we're doing that.
Yeah. No, it's funny because when I think of like revive PvP, most of it is just bring out anybody and like basically anybody out into the wilderness. Bring out everybody, you know, and just no matter the cost, no matter how busted anything is, just bring them out there so we can kill them. It's just like, oh my God.
Yep.
It's like, I understand this would revive PvP for a little bit, but think of the game's health and like think of how much more people are going to hate PvP. Like, you know what I mean?
It only gets worse with every update. It really
does. I just feel like we're at a time, again, I need more PKers on to talk. But I feel like PvP in its old sense where it's just go out in the wilderness and fuck around is dead now. Like the way to revive PvP is like tournaments, and I don't know if you remember that blog, it wasn't a poll blog, but it was like a dev blog, and it was talking about they want to come out with like, what were they called? Okay, wait, let me think of what it was called. I can't remember the name, but it was like kind of like Soul Wars in a way, but it was like a PvP based defend the castle sort of thing. I don't know what was it called. Do you remember what I'm talking about? It was on the same blog as like Quest.
Wasn't it meant to be on Saya? You meant that one? Like that mausoleum type of place?
Oh, wait. Dude, This sucks. It sucks when I'm thinking of things, and especially like on a recording, and I just can't think of the.
Yeah, it's
I'll
fine.
find it. I'm gonna look it up on the blog thing while I.
Can't know everything.
Yeah, but there, I feel like that's the pace of like PV. Like that is the course for PvP nowadays. You have to come out with more like, I don't know, more sort of like mini game style PvP. And it doesn't have, I don't know. I just feel like any possible way to bring people out in the wilderness with an incentive, like bringing out new skilling methods or wilderness imps or wilderness clue scrolls and stuff like that, it's just not good. Like you want to bring PvP together, and when you're forcing people that don't want a PvP out into like a PvP situation, that's just not healthy. You gotta,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I completely agree.
Yeah. All right, let's cover this. I'll find this as we talk, but anyway, let's get into some topics real quick. Okay. I see Morningstar's tweet, and he says, "You have been playing OSRS full time for the past years. Where do you see yourself outside OSRS in 5 years?" So, and then he's got two other questions. Stance on third-party clients and Steam client, and what do you think about the shift to PVM to speedrunning, especially in high-level communities? So, I guess this is usually a question I ask at the end, but I am curious, like when, I guess I'll add on my own topic for this as well for the first question, but when does OSRS stop? And I ask a lot of my guests this, and where do you see yourself like in 5 years, not regarding, I guess, RuneScape?
Where does OSRS stop? I just can't answer that question because it's so hard. Like knowing that I've played this game for the past 7 years, almost 7 years, and just thinking that there's an end to it. Of course, there will be an end, but making a prediction on that, I feel like there's just no way of doing that. There's so many variables.
Yeah.
Personally, I would like to see it go for a lot longer because I enjoy my time on here so much. It's definitely an outlet of me that I really enjoy, but I don't know, an ending to it. I have no idea, I'll be honest.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, even if it is here? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Not, I guess, regarding RuneScape.
Well, I currently still, I still live with my family currently. I'd like to be moved out. I mean, I'm sure I will be. And just be like healthy, self-sustaining. Like comfortably living. I don't have to live large. I just want to be comfortably living.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to just be working a decent job. Maybe still stream, maybe still be on Old School. You never know. Like I like to live by like the week, by the days. I don't really like thinking ahead that far.
Yeah, don't get worried about things in the future.
It's of course smart to think about your future, but there's so many variables that can change things that you shouldn't worry about it too much.
And there's a difference between like worrying and like planning. Like
true. That is true.
But yeah. Because I guess I'm a spontaneous enough person where things in the future don't really stress me out. Like they don't get me super anxious. I know a lot of people that they stress out about every single thing that's coming up, and that's probably why I'm such a procrastinator.
I'm probably the exact opposite of you then.
Oh, really?
I'm exactly like that. Yeah.
Oh, I get like, I just shut things off. Like I just shut things out of my mind, basically. If something's stressing me out, I just stop thinking about it, which is bad in a way, because you should really just take care of it. But I will just literally procrastinate it until the last second. If I have, I don't know.
Again, I'd love to have that ability because I like say I live by the day, but I do that because I don't want to worry about the future because
No, I mean, I can agree with that as well. Like I guess I got a little part of that. I still get stressed out about things, but at the same time, I know how to just not stress. I know how to just shut it off, which is not a healthy thing per se, but it's nice.
Can I take some classes on that? Is that possible? Should start selling those. I think people would appreciate
I don't even
that.
know what I would like. It's just who I am, I guess. I just
Yeah.
get things out of my mind. But well, that's cool. I guess. I mean, I would love it if you were to continue streaming. I hate it when streamers like, the IRL does eventually hit, and then like they need to figure out stuff. But I always like it when they keep in
Hmm.
touch, even if.
Yeah, I definitely will keep in touch just with how many contacts and like friends I've made over the years here. I would not just want to like fully shut that out all of a sudden.
Yeah. And what would happen if OSRS did end? Because I feel like if anything ever did end like this, there would just be another old school or something. Like I don't feel like
Yeah.
this game actually ever ends.
Hmm. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that when it's already been going on for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's hard to see it ever end.
Yeah. Plus, like, why would it end? Like, as long as they're making money.
Hmm.
I guess if it died somehow, but I can't imagine anything where it would really kill the game. Because if they're making money,
Yeah.
why would they like shut down the servers?
Yep. And as you said, if there's something that really would kill the game, old school.
Yep. Literally. Bring us back to, dude. Bring us back to like, nah, dude. I always say bring us back to like an older year, like 2005 or 2004. But at the same
Hmm.
time, it's just so dull. It's such a dull game when you think about it. It'd be,
Yeah.
it'd be fun for like a week or two, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right,
Updates are healthy, honestly.
they're
They are.
so good. Like the game we have now, as much as I hate some of the updates and how PVM has just dominated money making and stuff like that. Like there's just certain routes the game has gone. Overall, I'd much rather play the game we have currently than even old school on launch. Like if it was not, no, I'm not saying like launch wasn't as fun. Launch would be really fun to play, but just the game we
Yeah.
had at launch, I'd rather have what we have now.
Hmm. So
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
actually, no. One more thing I wanted to say, like to come back to what you say, where would you like to see yourself? I would also like to pursue like uh, a career in either teaching or architecture. I've always been interested in one of those, to those things, and I feel like something I should have said is I have an anxiety disorder. That's why I tried to go study twice, and I canceled in my first year twice.
Mm,
And old school has always been like my safe space for that. So it's kind of weird to think about the future as well. I know I'm jumping like
yeah, no,
I'm like jumping all of a sudden, but
that's a Sae Bae
old,
cast. This shit is just scuff in general.
it's
So
just
it's
random.
totally cool.
So yeah, when I played for a couple years, and that was like during my high school period still. And during high school, you get like moved around a lot. They just tell you what to do, and all of a sudden, when you go to study, you get let go, and you have to figure things out by yourself. And I found that very difficult in the beginning because I didn't really have those. How do I say that? Is the right word for that? Damn.
I think we know what
I
you're.
don't really know how to explain. Yeah,
I think we know what you're getting at, but yeah, keep
yeah.
going.
So the first time I tried to study, I live in a pretty small town. So like when I used to go to school, it was like a 5 minute bike ride, and I was there. And it was for my ground school. It was the exact same. It was really close by. And all of a sudden, I had to go to a big city in my country. So that was very like scary to me, and that's where I started developing, I think, my disorder. So I basically like half a year in, I couldn't do it anymore because every single day I would just come home exhausted because of like all the impressions and of how much it was for me.
Damn.
And I just wouldn't be able to like do any homework or something or be able to like get anything done. So I'd be failing miserably at what I was doing. I was studying software engineering at the time, which is something I really enjoyed, but that was just holding me back.
Yeah. Damn.
And so to my parents, that looked like I was just not doing my homework. So they said, all right, fine, you failed once, try again. So the next summer I went to a different school, because if you fail your first year, you can't just do the same course again. You have to go to a different school. And I did the same course, but just on a different school in a different city. And the exact same thing happened. So at that point, I knew that it wasn't just me not doing my work, because I tried, but I just couldn't. It just didn't work out. So I basically just broke down to my parents, like, this ain't it, and I wanted to stop disappointing them with it. And I went and found help, and the past few years I've been getting help with that and trying to figure out like what I want, how I want to do it, maybe like study from home, do things like that. And that's when streaming came about, and that's where streaming has helped me a lot, like keeping me busy at least.
Yeah. Damn. It's just weird because I would have never thought of you as like, I don't know, having anxiety. Really, you seem like a very just like, I don't know, happy person.
I guess, yeah. I guess that's the comfort of being online.
Yeah.
And being in a safe space.
Yeah.
And I guess once I'm like settled somewhere, or once I'm comfortable somewhere, I'm probably pretty outgoing and like very like to be the center of attention. But
Yeah. I feel like all streamers have that like inner desire. Well, not all streamers, but all streamers that love to stream. Because some people start streaming and realize this is not what I like to do. But streamers that are like really love it are definitely attention whores. When it's like convenient. Because I'm the same way. I'm like a big time introvert, but at the same time, if I get comfortable, especially in school, if I get comfortable in a class, like, dude, I become a literal clown. So
I'm pretty much the exact same. But as much as we don't like to admit it, that's, I guess, what streaming is about, because you're showing to the world what you are like. Especially streaming RuneScape, you want to show off what you're like achieving on the game, and you want others to grind along with you, and you want to show off like how good you are, or like for most people, I feel like it is like that. Especially like the high level community streaming their grinds, you want to like share your achievements with other people, because that's what has value to people.
Yeah. No.
So I can understand it. It's like, it's very easy to burn out if you don't have that type of people, or like that type of confirmation from other people to share with.
Yeah, I wonder what this game would be like as single player, almost. Just
Yeah, I
nobody
I feel
at
like
all would ever go as hard as we do.
In the beginning, that's how a lot of people play. They just don't have anyone to share their achievements with, and that's why I always tell people, like, get involved, get into YouTube, get into Twitch, make friends.
Yeah, for real. And I feel like this clan update tomorrow is going to be pretty huge for just getting into communities way easier.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for tomorrow. I'm just so excited for like the next 2 months. Dude, did you know that so the Arceus spellbook is literally planned for June, but TOB hard mode's coming out before then. And then right after Arceus is Fasani's Nightmare. So I was thinking TOB hard mode and Fasani's are going to be like months down the road, but no, like they're like squeezing them in. Ooh. So there's a lot of cool updates coming out.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was going to be quite a bit. What about combat achievements though?
Dude, I have no idea when combat achievements is. They still got to get their rebalancing stuff done.
Oh, yeah, that's what's worrying me a bit. Like, they need to get that done first, and I don't know when they're planning to do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know when it's coming out. I want to say it's almost like next year at this point, because I don't know. There's just like, it just takes them so long to get things out, I feel like recently.
Yeah, they wanted to get it done like before the summer, the blowpipe nerf at least.
Dude, you remember when it was literally already set for February? Like, they already said the update for the whole rebalance was February, and then they all of a sudden just canceled it the day before. That was crazy.
Because there was just too much.
Yeah, it definitely was. It felt so like over. I don't know, just too much was happening all at once. It's way too much chaos. That's how it felt. But yeah, they had a lot of updates planned, so I'm excited. And then combat achievements, and I don't know when Raids 3 is coming out, but that the future's looking good for the next few months. A lot of stuff's coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Morningstar also asks, stance on... We are literally just bouncing everywhere right now. There is literally no focus on this whatsoever. But
I'm so sorry if that... I
no,
don't know.
don't apologize at all. Like, people listen to this. If anybody's listening to the Sae Bae Cast, they understand what they're listening to. It's just literal just ramble between two people. Okay, but he does say stance on third-party clients and Steam client. I have never used the Steam client ever. I just know it's like uncapped frame rate, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But other than that, it's literally just the vanilla client, right?
Yeah, correct.
God, that's awful.
Yeah. Well, I personally don't have any experience with it, but I know that my friend Shadow tried playing on it for a while because it was a way of getting around the spam log.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting spam log for a while, and logging in on the Steam client goes through your profile instead of your login name, and for some reason that it's like a way around it. I don't know how it works, but he basically quit because of it, because it was just not playable.
It was horrible. I was watching him play where he would zoom out so far he couldn't see his dude anymore. It's just become invisible.
Yeah, it's we're very spoiled nowadays, but with RuneLite, but I wouldn't want to play without most of the features on RuneLite anymore. And like whenever an update hits and all the client features that are down, it just shows like how much less enjoyable the game becomes.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to play. I just log out if RuneLite's not up, or I'll just do some bank standing, like simple bank standing skill.
Yeah, some very easy
Yeah, even the bank standing skills are horrible though, because I always feel like I need some sort of shift click.
Oh
options.
yeah.
Everything is horrible with it, and then you forget. Like, I definitely forget how many plugins there are on RuneLite, and how almost everything I enjoy with this game now, mechanically, like just features wise, is all because of RuneLite. It has nothing to do with the actual game.
Yep.
So yeah. Do you think, what do you think about I guess plugins? Like, do you think overall third party clients are good, or do you think there is like a, I don't know, is there a downside to it in any way?
I think the only downside is moderation from the Jagex team. It's very hard for them to see what's going on because people can't just do what they want with clients, and it's very hard for them to detect.
Yeah, we've gotten to a point, I feel, whenever I hear this question, which is a lot, third party clients and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've just gotten to the point where we just got what we got. The game's never going to be as it was. Mm-hmm. And honestly, there's a lot of people that are really wanting Jagex to have their own client, where it's like, this is now the client everyone has to use. I just feel like that has too many downsides than upsides. Like, in an ideal world, that would be nice. But as soon as Jagex, like, controls everything and, like, they are the ones updating it, I just feel like it's not going to be as good as RuneLite could be.
Yeah.
So
that's completely right.
I feel like we're in the best situation we could possibly be in right now, where RuneLite's free, everyone uses it, and it's amazing. For
them, it's ideal as well because they could completely like let someone else do it, and they don't have to worry about it.
Totally free.
The only thing they have to worry about is banning people if something bannable would become like what they consider bannable. They don't have to worry about like developing the features, or the plugins. They don't have to worry about hiring people for that. Yep. They just let RuneLite do their thing.
Yep, I think that's the best way to go about it. I don't know. It's just tough because as much as it sucks how people can just use different clients and get super OP features, I don't personally care, but I can understand where someone comes from where they do care. For example, speedrunners, where other people get way better plugins even though they're breaking the rules, but they're not actually detectable supposedly.
It is just, yeah, for the example you use, speed running, it is kind of upsetting to know that there's just some straight up advantages that are almost like unplayable without, or like like on a competitive level it's almost impossible to compete. Like for instance, the uh I'll just take TOB as an example, like not having the soda seg mace plugin.
Yep.
Like that's a very big example that I always use. Like it is very hard to compete with the top TOB times without using that.
Yep.
But then again, everyone on that level uses those plugins, so
Yeah.
it is just kind of sad that like that's necessary nowadays.
Yeah. I agree.
Then
It's so
again,
tough. Like, what's the answer? Like, there is no perfect solution for all
there's no
this.
answer because it's very objective what people see as like a quality of life plugin and a straight up cheating plugin. That's very objective. That's person per person. That's very like case by case. So it's almost impossible to find a good solution for that.
Yeah. Speaking of speedrunning, his final thing is, what do you think about the shift of PVM to speedrunning, especially in high level communities? I don't fully
I
understand this, but
I
if you have
I
any
think
thoughts
what he
on it.
means is that with the lack of new updates, a lot of people are shifting from just playing the new updates or just playing to like grind for items and PVMing, instead of going back to older content and trying to get better at them, improving at them, which I think is really cool. Personally, I
Yeah.
think that the because of that, like as much as we hate that we don't get a lot of new content into the game, I think it has also caused an increase of resources for speedrunners. For instance, I'm just gonna take as an example the speedrunning Inferno speedrunning Discord that Adicon made. Eh, I think Inferno speedrunning has evolved so much over the past like 6 months, a year. It's crazy to see like how many people have improved at Inferno just because of they got more time on their hands, mainly because of COVID as well, people staying at home, but also because of the lack of updates. People are like trying to improve at the current content even more than they wanted to before, because before you would just do content for a bit and then new content would come out and you kind of abandon that other content and not really try to improve at it just because you didn't have enough time to do so.
Yep.
So I think in a way that's really cool, but on the other side, I'd like to see some new content as well.
Okay, so real quickly, before I give my little response on it, I found what I was trying to talk about. Faction Wars, was what it was called. Faction
Faction War.
Faction Wars. So, here I'll link this to you real quick. Uh, Go to basically just scroll all the way down on this blog real quick. But anyway, I want to bring this up again, I guess, because this is like what PvP basically has to turn into, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't. I'm not saying like. Okay, I'm not. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't have to turn into this. I'm just saying like these are going to be the updates that really make PvP good, in my opinion. Like are going to keep it healthy. Are these sort of like PvP mini games. And this one, I don't really understand it, but people in the chat and people in the comments can like kind of talk about it. But it's like you own these factions, and it's like it looks like there's 3 teams, and it kind of reminds me of that Fall Guys mini game where there's like 3 teams. You try to put all like those balls in like your own
Oh yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
yeah.
kind of what it reminds me of, but this is kind of like the stuff I'm looking forward to in PvP, because this would get so many other people into PvP rather than it just be like, let's get more people lured out in the wilderness. Like, I don't know. I just feel like PvP has come to a point where mini games and DMMs and stuff are like the way you have to go about it now, not just put more people into the wilderness that don't want to be out there. So,
I'll be completely honest. I never saw this. I completely missed out on this, but this is really cool. So yeah, it's like you got like people dedicated to roles, so people could be dedicated to PVMing and skilling,
yep.
I guess, like defending and building up the bases, and then you got PvPers going after the other people trying to attack. Yeah, that's the concept looks really cool, but how it will play out, I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? I remember Adicon was doing I don't know when this was. It's probably like over a year ago or something, but he was doing like competitive Castle Wars on a stream, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever to watch when people are like legit going ham on Castle Wars,
Oh
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And so I could see the same thing happening for like Faction Wars or anything
Hmm.
else that comes out. Just true, super intense PvP and strategy and stuff. That just sounds so
Yeah.
fun.
The competitive Castle War scene like got really popular for a while because there was a guy making like top 5 videos of like the top 5 Castle Wars plays of the week or something. It was really cool. It's
That's
like a
so
very
sick.
like small community, but that all of a sudden got really big. I think that got like posted in a Reddit thread and it got a lot of upvotes. But he made like top 5 videos of cool Castle Wars plays of that week, and it was just really cool to watch because it was something I'd never seen before. I never knew about that little community that would
Yeah.
play competitive Castle Wars. But yeah.
No, I think it's dope. I think there could be so many more sort of mini games where it involves a lot of strategy and teamwork. And it's
Hmm.
not this is like where it really comes down to is it always depends on rewards that it gives out because it's just so tough. It has to literally just be elo based and maybe some cosmetic flexes because as soon as there's rewards, it always results into boosting. Like
Yeah.
or if there's a pet, it always is going to go into boosting. It's just you got to kind of stay clear away from rewards that are just going to ruin the content for what it
Yeah,
is.
the problem is that a lot of people are not motivated enough to certain content. Like people in the competitive Castle War scene are playing that purely because they enjoy that mini
Yep.
game.
That's what it would
And
have
there's
to be though. But like
yeah,
but the thing with Castle Wars is you don't have like an elo system. Imagine if there was actually like an elo system where people get ranked up and like there's a high scores for it. We're like, holy fuck, this team or this dude's amazing. Like he never
yeah,
loses. And like that would motivate people even further. The people that already are interested, that would motivate them even more. And if there's a high scores for it, people will go ham. But
just so limited with the old school combat system and like how limited the coding goes with like how skilled something gets in this game, I guess,
yeah, but
in a sense.
yeah, no, I agree with that. There has to be more strategy involved.
Hmm.
Like, and I feel like that's what Faction Wars will bring because yeah, when it's just like you kill this person or you do that, it's just there is
Yeah,
very limited amount that we can do with this game. But strategy and developing a new minigame, there's so much potential in my opinion of like I don't know.
just takes one person to come up with a really good idea, and it
Yeah,
could be the next big thing.
yeah. That's where I feel
Yeah,
like PvP is going to be
I'd
going
never
though.
seen this before, and I've never heard them talk about this faction wars idea ever
Yeah, it
after
was
as
just on
well.
that blog. I think they talked about it on the Q&A afterward, but that was pretty
Mm.
much it they've talked about. And that was also the same Gazette was the one where they're talking about the Temple Guard or the Guardian of Gielinor. That's that rune crafting minigame that's going to it's just a little bit above that if you see it. That's
Oh
that's where
yeah.
the blood altar is going to come out or the blood talisman, sorry. Is going to come out. So,
Ooh.
yeah. That was a pretty cool blog just in general. I'm excited. And then of course quest speedrunning. We've talked about quest speedrunning or I have with other guests and what do you think? Because there's a quest plugin now that tells you exactly what to do with every quest. Do you feel like that's unfair for when quest speed running inevitably comes out? Or do you feel like that's just the
Um,
way it's gonna be?
I feel like as soon as you're like going to the level of speed running quests, you won't really need those because you got your route plan. You're not gonna go in blind. Like you know what you're gonna do.
That's true,
So
actually.
yeah.
That's a good point. That actually is a good point. You'll get to the point of mastering it where
Hmm.
the quest speed help or the quest speed run or the quest helper is not even gonna help you anymore. It's gonna be like slowing you down almost.
Yeah. And I mean that wouldn't be a problem that's just like related to old school. I feel like every game has their problems, their flaws with
Yeah.
speedrunning. But I feel like people would get bored very quickly of that. That's just what I personally think. I
Quest
don't
speed
think
running?
there's enough. Yeah.
Oh no, dude. I think it's gonna be the next biggest thing.
Yeah?
I completely think it will. Dude,
Hmm.
you know like Jimmy, the YouTuber, the guy that does like
Yeah, like
by release.
from release,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, so he makes questing seem like really entertaining. He's just an entertaining guy, so like he can make anything interesting. But dude, I think people really do love watching people quest. Dude, I hate watching people quest, and I am so interested in watching people like speedrun quests, like Wooks and Bodhi, and people that are just going to go ham on unlimited replayability content, just always upping the time, finding new strategies to get quests. And I think it's going to be huge, dude. Like, and I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like people that aren't content creators yet can literally build a platform, like build like a community with just speedrunning. Like start stream if you think you're talented in speedrunning, like this could literally build you up like from a content creator standpoint, I guess. Like you could literally
I,
build
I
content up
really, I really hope
speedrunning.
that you're right. I hope that you prove me wrong in what I think it's gonna be. Honestly, I really hope that's what it's gonna be, because that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I just feel like it has so much potential, honestly. And there are super, super, super dedicated people in this community that
Oh
would
yeah, yeah,
go
for sure.
so ham on it. And just discovering new little ways to save a few ticks here and there, and having the
Hmm.
perfect run would be so exciting to watch.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if you ever watched Clint. Is Clint Stevens? Is that his name?
Clint Stevens. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know he's a streamer, right? He streams
yeah.
speedrunning.
Speedrunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even play any of the games he like speedruns, but like
Hmm.
Super Mario or whatever it was.
Yeah, SM64. I love
Yeah,
watching speedrunning content for that
yeah.
game.
Like I will literally just be so engaged in it. I have no idea what's even happening. But for RuneScape, like oh my god, it's like on another level because I know exactly what the game's about. And
Yeah.
people that do Minecraft speedruns, that's huge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
It's really cool to see how the speedrunning scene has evolved over the past few years as well. I guess that's the same with how it has evolved in old school, like people getting better at Inferno or like solo raid, solo CMs and stuff. Just how that has become more competitive
yeah,
over the past like year, 2 years. It's really cool to see.
yeah. I think it has a lot of potential. Okay, OPs asks, what would you like to see for future updates in PVM, and what items would you like to see introduced into the higher tier PVMing scene? I guess.
Ooh,
Excuse me.
that is. Well, I hate to be that guy, but I always like being the one being surprised. I always like don't want to know how good an item is gonna be or like what is gonna come out. I like being surprised. What would I like to see is that's something I'd have to think about. Do you have like
Oh,
certain
I've given
idea?
my answers. I want that 2-tick
Uh,
wand. I want the spec ring, the ring that like rejuvenates your spec twice as fast.
ooh,
Yeah. Did you ever hear about that?
no, no.
Dude, the spec ring. Listen. So, just real quickly for those that have already heard it a million times, but it is a ring. It doesn't have any stats to it. So, you don't have any strength bonus, but what it does is as long as you're equipping it, your regen will regen 20 instead of 10 every 30 seconds. So like your spec will regen 20 instead of just 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has a higher cap as well. So you know how spec only goes up to 100. If you're equipping this ring, it can go above that to 120.
Ooh.
So, and I was talking to GE Challenge about it briefly in like the Summit Discord, and we were talking with a lot of the other people about if it would be busted or not. There's really no place it would be busted. We were thinking, oh, this is going to speed up Corp or something. It's like, nope, it doesn't even speed up Corp because it's not enough to like,
You
give
can't
any.
you can't do an extra spec
Yeah,
during per
exactly.
trip. Like yeah, does nothing for
But it
that.
still has a bunch of niche uses where I don't know. But the thing is, like, you would have to camp the ring because every time you take it off, like, it would reset the spec regen, I guess. Something like that
Yeah,
where you couldn't just constantly flick a B ring over and over.
yeah, that'd be stupid.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's like my idea. Something that can come out. The 2-tick wand is something like a blowpipe that's just magic based and it's a charged wand.
Hmm.
And then this is not really for raids 3 or anything, but dude, I don't know if you've ever just done a bunch of barrage tasks like Necreals in the catacombs, and
Yeah.
you run out of your Lumbee ring Alks.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
what if there was a ring that you could charge up that was exactly like the Lumbee ring, except you charge it with natures and fire runes or whatever? Like, dude,
Yeah.
I would love that so much, to be on a different spellbook, but to be able to alch similar to how that ring works.
That'd be sick.
Is that OP? Like, is that like, would people like that? I would fucking love that, to have a ring that has, you could just charge it infinitely with a bunch of your own nature runes.
I don't see that being OP. I don't know what would be OP. I guess it would speed up things like a little bit, like for instance, like Necreal tasks. Instead of having to bank your rune items, if you like banking those, you can just.
It would have to be a rare item from something. Maybe like MTA 2.0. Oh god, don't come out with MTA 2.0, please. No. Some magic, I don't know. Some ring. I don't know where it would come from, but
that wouldn't be like really an item that I'd like to see from like raid 3 or
that
something
wouldn't
like
make
that.
any sense.
It'd be something else.
Yeah, that's really what I want. I see these. I play the game a little bit, and then I'm just a very how do I say it? I just think of ideas all the time for this game. I will literally have sleepless nights where I'll just stay up thinking of things I'd want into the game. That's why the Sae Bae agenda is so strong. Just constantly thinking.
Something that I recently thought of was a bit random is that I know that most weapons are like click on, like just target based. You like click on the monster and you shoot a bolt, for instance, or like a barrage. You click on the monster and a barrage is that area. I'd like to see something like a monster in race 3 that is constantly moving and that might have like a predictable pattern or like a couple predictable patterns, and a weapon that you could like aim at a certain area instead of actually aiming at the monster itself, clicking on the monster. Like just click on a certain square and like preemptively shoot it there, and like instead of you clicking on the NPC would move towards your projectile. Because there's some like NPCs that do that shoot like, I don't know, Maiden shooting a blood spawn in a certain area.
Oh
like,
yeah.
What if we could do that? We could shoot something on a certain square, and the NPC would move there instead of, because a lot of the NPCs in the game are static. Don't do that. But what if some NPCs had like a predictable pattern or a couple predictable patterns that you'd have to learn? Like, I don't know, like the Zolwar patterns, for instance, and you'd have to preemptively predict, where something would go. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
like a weapon for that, and that's where the weapon rebalancing comes in, where there'd be more space for that, like a range weapon that you could shoot at a certain place. Like, I don't know, you shoot like a javelin up in the air, and it would end like it would fall down like 10 ticks later, and that's exactly when the NPC moves on that square or something like that, and it would hit it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like how would it work? Do you just cast like, or do you just click on the thing and then click a tile that you wanted to land on? Like, I don't know. It's just like, it seems complicated, and it seems like
yeah.
It sounds cool though. It sounds cool for like puzzle based rooms where like you would have to like shoot certain tiles or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I think currently with the current combat system, that's very hard. So I would like to see the evolution of that. That's
Dude, you know what I want? Either I want telekinetic grab 2.0 or I want telekinetic grab to be reworked. I hate how garbage it is and how long you're stalled for trying to pick something up. Like, dude, if they were to fix that stall, if they were to make it so your dude didn't freeze, if you could literally just click the object you want to telekinetic grab and then instantly the next tick start moving and pretty much do whatever you want and have the item go into your inventory whenever it does. Oh my god, dude. I would actually use that spell. I feel like that's such an underused spell because it's so bad.
But where would you use it at?
Like, I guess there's really not any particular place, but I remember Ari Slash would do his Brutal Black Dragons on task, and he wanted to be like super, super safe. And so he wanted to like,
so he wouldn't walk in melee range. So
yeah, so he wanted to like telegrab his loot. and shit. But imagine you could telegrab loot and like you could just go boom, telegrab, boom, telegrab, boom, telegrab, and like you could cast 3 of them within like 3 ticks, basically.
Mhm.
Get all the loot you want instantly and continue to shoot your dragon. Like something where it's like, wow, this is actually a super useful spell
Yeah.
where you don't have to get into range and you can
I mean,
still.
future content could be balanced around that, where like monsters are. I'll take it as an example how the rangers and mages are in Chambers of Zarek. They're on like a floating island that you can't access yourself. Like how a monster would, for instance, drop something that's useful, like valuable, that you'd want again, but there's no other way of getting it than to telegraph.
Yeah.
That's how I would see that working or be valuable.
I just want
Like,
them to fix that spell because the spell also has potential for future things. Like I know like the tightrope. I almost feel like tightrope had that when they were making it. I bet in their mind they were thinking, "Ooh, somebody's going to try to telegrab this," or I feel like there could be puzzle rooms based in future raids that could utilize telegrab, but currently it's just such a clunky spell, dude. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's just MTA that you use it on.
Yeah, literally, that's it.
And I think team like main speedrunners use it for the rogue room to telegraph the crystal.
Think about that. That's actually a really cool puzzle idea I was thinking about. Like Raids 3, it has a telekinetic room, except there's multiple blocks, so you need like super intense teamwork to maneuver, the pillar or whatever you're trying to move over to the end goal.
Yeah.
But I really want them to just rework telegraph first, because that is not fun to do telegraph currently when you're just stalled there.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool though.
And there's a lot of cool ideas they could do because like of how much people's PVM abilities have improved. They could go so much harder on Rage 3 and like make it actually even a step up harder than what TOB was.
Dude, I think Raid 3 is going to be very difficult.
I hope it will be.
I think it is. I think it's going to be very difficult.
The problem is just from a marketing point of view for them, it's not a good thing to do.
I don't know, man. TOB was extremely. I'm talking like TOB level, but it would be harder because we're all improved. Because TOB is a very successful update in my opinion, and who knows, like business wise or whatever. But that dude, nobody completed it for like 2 days.
Yeah, like, that was such a fun period in time on Twitch.
And if Raids 3 can pull that off where nobody completes it for 2 days, they've done it. Like that's really good. If people complete it their first attempt or second attempt, then it's not good. It's not hard enough.
Yeah. It's the same with Inferno on release. That was probably my favorite period of time in Old School.
So good. It was so good.
It was just 30,000 people migrating from stream to stream, whoever would be on the highest wave at the time. It was so cool.
Were you when Inferno came out, were you one of those people that's like, I'm gonna go get an Infernal cape, or were you like, fuck that?
No, I did it on release. Yeah, I attempted it on release at least.
Wow,
let's just say that.
Impressive. Were you able to like get it? Like I don't know when you got your cape.
In the first week, I did like 50 attempts or so. And then I was like, yeah, fuck this. Do
you have a TiVo?
I need a break from this. Yeah, I did. I had Max Kid. I was back on my main. And then, of course, I slowly saw the completions coming in, like the first top 10 completed it. And then I took about a month break or so from it. And then after a month, I did my first attempt after some more like guides and like some general like tips came out from the other higher level PVMers. I got on my first attempt after that month break. It was so weird. So like 50 attempts of just rage going in, like what the fuck are these monsters doing? And then all of a sudden just calm and collected, like with a lot more knowledge.
Wow. But so you were one of the first. Like you got it in 2017.
Yes, I got it like a month after it came out. I was in like the top 100, I think.
Were you like just dude, that must be such a good feeling to have gotten it so early, because I feel like I got it early. I got it a year after release. But like you know, even then it was rare for Ironman to have it. And
Yeah.
I just remember like, dude, how fucking beastly you feel walking around. Like you want to do melee slayer tasks because you're like,
Oh
you
yeah.
just want to flex it
It-
whenever possible.
it's really cool to have. And I feel like I motivated some people in a lot of ways because I did it after a month, and it was kind of I was kind of a meme at the time, so it was a lot of my friends were saying, "Oh, if you can do it, then yeah." Why
Yeah.
would I not be able to do it? And I hope that motivated some people. I know that it did motivate some people, so I was kind of, I'll happily be that punching bag. That's they can say if that idiot can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. That was such an exciting time. And those are
Mhm.
those are such healthy updates for the game.
Yeah,
Things that
that was
legit take
amazing.
skill. Like actual the RuneScape is not seen as I still talk to my brothers and they're like, "Wow, RuneScape takes no skill," because they haven't like seen it. They just think back when they played as kids where it was just click a monster and it dies, you know.
Yeah.
But the game has evolved so far beyond that now. Oh, so listen to this. I want to show the stream this real quick. Oops. So Fasani's Nightmare is coming out potentially in July.
Ooh.
And there is a screenshot that Creel sent me of Mod Arcane talking about. Let's bring this up real quick. Oh, this is not going to show properly, but apparently you will take 0 damage at Nightmare if you pray correctly. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
send you this real quick, and you can just look at that real quick. But yeah, apparently the fight's gonna be significantly shorter. He doesn't actually answer. Somebody asked like 10 minutes, and he never actually answered. But it's gonna be a shorter fight, and if you make no mistakes, you take no damage. But but the damage is scaled up if you miss a flick.
I don't know what to think of that.
I'm scared because it sounds like it's gonna be easier than Nightmare. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like it's gonna be easier than normal Nightmare, which is not what I had in mind.
I kind of like how it is now because you significantly reduce the damage you take if you pray correctly. You still take some damage, but that some damage is good because that means that you get rewarded for killing it quicker. Because the longer you stand in there, you might like pray correctly, but
I guess
if
it
you're
would
not
go either
killing it
way.
quick,
The
yeah,
faster you kill it, you're in there for longer, so you have less time to fuck up. But yeah, I
yeah,
understand. I also feel like if you take 0 damage, like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like what they're gonna do to keep that, I guess, engaging or something. Like where you're just taking 0 damage the whole time. Like that sounds really nice because you're
Mm.
completely. It's probably gonna be guaranteed hits whenever you
Yeah.
misspray. Like guaranteed, you can't tank it no matter what.
I guess it completely depends on like how hard it actually is. Yes, you can do Inferno with taking 0 damage, but how realistic is that? Like,
What I'm excited for is if that is the case where you take 0 damage, at least the Blood Fury won't be like a necessity.
yeah.
Because the Blood Fury always kind of felt like, oh, this is just gonna make Nightmare so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like how good it was.
It is pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the one benefit I see from taking 0 damage from it all because yeah,
Does that also include like parasites and
I don't know.
husks? I guess husks are 0 damage now anyway, if you break correctly. But
Okay, so listen. You remember when people were asking for the Elder Maul to be buffed? Like, buff Elder Maul, it's a piece of shit, it's mega rare, and
yeah.
it's shit. And then Husky would always come out with the argument, like, hey, like, we can come out with something where it's like, you get limited amount of hits or something against a certain boss, and, like, that'll be its niche, where, like, you want the highest hitting weapon, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever were in those Q&As when he was always kind of defending it.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I roughly remember that. Yeah.
So
Vaguely.
here is another mechanic that I've been thinking about that would be really cool for weapons like the Elder Maul. Something super high hitting, maybe even a heavy ballista or something. but is a okay. So I'm gonna bring up an example. You know when Nightmare does its melee swipe,
Yes.
and it's just like a really annoying attack. Imagine if every time it melee swiped, it had a few ticks of vulnerability, where it becomes very vulnerable for a tick or two, where you want your highest attack, you want your highest hitting weapon, because on that vulnerability tick, you will deal double damage.
Ooh,
Or
yeah.
something like that. Like imagine like it swipes at you and then it's like it kind of has to rest for a few ticks, and during that time you want your most powerful weapon to hit it because it'll deal
Mhm.
double damage for that.
So a vulnerable time period that is not enough for a fast hitting weapon to get a lot of attacks in, but just
Yeah,
like
just
get one
one
attack
tick,
in.
just one tick or something that you have. And so yeah, you would probably use people would argue, oh, you would just use claws in that situation, or AGS or
Mhm.
something. But if you didn't have spec, if it happens enough like a melee attack does, where
Yeah, if
it's
it's like 20 times during a kill, you're
yeah,
not gonna have claws for every time. Yeah.
exactly. I was thinking, wow, that would be a really cool niche to have your most powerful, slow hitting weapon just have that
That
niche.
does sound really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make the fight a lot more interesting too. Imagine like it melees you. The thing that I hate about its melee attack is there is really no cooldown for it, and there's no downside for melee or for Nightmare to use its melee attack. So it'd be really cool
Yeah.
if it did have that punishing factor. Whenever it melees you, it's fucking annoying, but at least you have that double damage window or something.
I guess there is a downside because it's completely zero damage if you step back, where
That's
the
true.
other
That
attacks
is
are
true.
never. Yeah. That is the only downside. But I do like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
That I never thought about it like that, but that would be a fix too. Like instead of just sitting there and with the same weapon and hitting it over and over again, that would bring some more like engaging, would make the fight more engaging.
Yep. Give some more variety to different weapons too. But yeah,
Yep.
that's what I was thinking of a few, I don't know, like a week or two ago. Just like
The Elder
ways
Maul
to
would be the
make.
go-to for that then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Just pull out your Elder Maul whenever it melees, just like that next rest period where Nightmare's kind of resting, just whack it once. Just hit a huge ass, and I hit like a fucking 120 on it.
Yep.
That'd be so satisfying. That would make the fight so much more satisfying. Like imagine that. Like, oh, that'd be nice. Okay. Joke asks, when did you realize you were so hot? I want to know that too.
I've never realized that, so I don't know what he's talking about. That's always other people saying that. I will never agree with that statement.
You're hot, Novesey.
When did you realize that, Sae Bae? That's the
Oh,
real
no, I
question.
haven't realized that, or what? Don't fucking reverse it on me.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out joke.
Shut up, joke.
Okay, God, okay, I need to hop worlds. This fucking bot keeps opening the gate like right before I enter, so it stalls me. Just kidding. Don't run. Okay. Okay, let's see. King Adam asks, seems like since you got heavily into Iron, you've mostly quit the main. Do you think you'll ever actively play it again? Your
No.
main.
Straight
Damn.
up, no. I really don't think so. I've gone so in the beginning I would answer yes to that question because for new content releases I like having the max gear because you want to have the best potential of completing it quickly and doing well at it. But I've gotten to the point on my Iron where I have the same gear as my main would have almost, of
Yeah.
course, with the exception of a couple things. And supplies aren't really an issue anymore as well. So that was the only thing that was holding me back from saying no to that, but also just doing everything on my Iron feels more satisfying than it does on my main. And for a while, I was very afraid that I was very like still claiming on to my main, and the addiction to the Iron didn't fully kick in, and that was until I hit like med level on my Iron, where I like started doing like demonics and all that fun stuff, Zora and everything. That's where the addiction like really started kicking in and started going really hard, and that's where I like stopped caring about my main pretty much.
Yeah. It's such a great time. It's,
Mm-hmm.
dude,
It is.
playing Iron Man for the first time when you're going through all that stuff is so much fun.
I felt like such an idiot again as well because like you play for 5 years and I'm like, I literally was afraid to DM someone to ask how to do a bird run because I had no idea. I was like, what is this content? How do you do that? Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck do you make a
It's like
birdhouse?
humbling, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It's like undiscovered territory for a main account.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, you get to
It was
experience
cool
every,
experience that again. Yeah.
you probably spent a lot of time on the wiki, I imagine. I used to. I used to live on
Yeah.
the
Oh
wiki.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. God, I am so glad. You know what? And it was because of Hardcore Iron Man release that really motivated me to start an Iron Man because I always felt like I was too late. I was like, oh, I'm too late to make an Iron.
Yeah.
But Hardcore really, I don't know, reinvigorated that like motivation to start one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy because yeah, I could never play a main now.
Yeah. I don't think I'd get near the same enjoyment out of a main account, and I never thought I would say that like 3 years ago.
Yeah, crazy. So,
Mm-hmm.
what made you first start an Iron? Like, what was the deciding point? Were you just did somebody
So
convince you to, or were you just like, I need new
So
content, or
it,
what?
it kind of started off as a meme for a couple weeks where people like kept poking at me to start trying it out, and I was very hesitant and I kept saying no because I was like, I have too many goals on my main. I'm still enjoying this too much, which I still was. I was definitely still having fun and like with the pet hunt as well. And there was also the other mains that kept like trying to keep me from playing an iron, trying to keep me on the main account.
Yeah,
And then I remember there was a specific stream, and this is gonna sound extremely sellout, but I literally got given $300 to stream my Ironman for that stream instead of my main account.
oh
And I'm
god,
like, all right, fine. I'm just gonna try it out for like a week or two. It's not gonna hurt too much for my main, and we'll see how that goes. And after those 2 weeks, there was no going back. I don't even know what I did in those 2 weeks, but I went so hard. I played like 60 plus hours a day. It was
damn.
Yeah, and from there I just like flew through the early game. I felt like a breeze almost, and I never really followed the Osiris guide or anything. I would sometimes like go into it to reference some things, but I
Yeah,
just did my own thing. I just did what I felt was the best or the most efficient,
yeah,
and I had so much fun with it.
yeah. It's really. I didn't play with the Osiris guide. I just played
Mhm.
my own way, and just enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, and then I came across all the little things that I never knew about, like doing bird runs or like doing. I mean, herp runs I knew a little bit about, but just like the farming guild, for instance. My God, I was addicted to that early game. 99 farming was my first 99 on the account,
Wow.
just because I every single day I just like I start my day at the farming guild, and an hour later I'd be there again just to check like, yo, has my Chronos worked, and could I do an extra contract again? I was so addicted to doing those contracts. So in the beginning they were really overpowered too. They nerfed the seed packs after a while, but so I'm happy I made use of that. Like 500 contracts with the overpowered contracts where you got like a ridiculous amount of seeds from them.
Yeah. Okay, so to expound on that first question, Box Terrier asks, when did you realize you're hooked on Iron Man? Sounds like immediately. And would any update make you play the main game again?
Um, as far as I can think, no. There's not really any like PVM skilling or PKN update that would want to make me play on a main account instead of an iron. I just can't imagine that at this point. Just too hooked on this account, too hooked on my goals on this account. And whenever I think of something of new content coming out, I always instantly think of the perspective of like, how cool would that be to have on my Iron Man?
Yeah.
Instead of just thinking like, oh, maybe this would be easier to do on my main because I can buy this gear or use it with that gear. I'm just like, no, I'll just use that gear and maybe be budget a little bit, but it'll work. We'll make
Yeah.
it work. Yeah.
What are your goals, I guess? I wanted to ask this later, but we'll just go into it now. What are your goals now as an Iron Man?
Currently,
Yeah.
so I'm in a PVM clan called Solitary. I think you were in there at some point as
Yeah.
well, right? In
Yep.
the beginning? Yeah. So I like working on the items that are on that sheet. We have like an item sheet on Google Docs with just mainly the useful PVM items that are in the game. I like mainly working towards those, which includes like all the rates drops, all the TOB drops, etc., etc. Currently, I've been also working on some more miscellaneous stuff on the collection log, but that list is getting filled up like quite quickly. I'm honestly surprised of where I'm in now, especially because I spoon hearted Nightmare. But
Yeah.
the main items I'm still looking for is the Elysian. This week I'm going hard for Kodai. It's the last item I still need from raids. And then when Fosanis comes out, I'll go back there for my mace.
Yeah.
Those are like the 3 big items I still need.
What do you think about Nightmare? Because obviously you spooned it pretty. So are you only missing a mace?
Yes, I'm 9 out of 10 on the log. Just
That's
missing mace.
Insane. And you're how much? What's your KC?
Like 1250.
And those are all solos?
No. That's like probably around a little bit below 600 solo equivalent.
Damn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
So yeah, the first like few hundred kills, I did the just 5-mans, 4-mans, and then I started getting into solos and 1+1s for a while as well, until that was nerfed.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a shame you don't have a mace, because that would be fun to grind out Fasanis with a mace. But you have a scythe, right?
Yeah.
So you can just do scythe, I guess, if you wanted to. I don't know if you're going to do bludgeon or scythe, but
I'll probably just use a bludgeon.
I would recommend, honestly, using a scythe if you can afford it, because, I don't know, just like getting that kill over with as soon as possible, I feel like it's going to be the smartest decision. I've been trying to do some Winter Todd on my end just to stock up some harm pages, because I really want to just use harm there the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely use my harm too. But I don't know about scythe yet. We'll see how hard the content actually is. Or like... See, the thing with using a scythe is that it gets enhanced so much by using Dragon Warhammer specs on Nightmare. It gets so much better if its defense is lowered. That I like using it in teams. Like if I'm 5-manning, which I rarely do, mainly during events I do that. But in solos, it's just like you don't use the Dragon Warhammer. So I prefer to just use a bludgeon there, because it doesn't have the enhancement of the defense being lowered.
Yeah, that's true. It still is way better than a bludgeon, though. Just, God.
It is better.
But you're not going to be losing blood runes like out the ass.
I never did the original Revenants, so I don't have like unlimited cash to play with.
I barely have unlimited. I don't have unlimited cash to play with. I'm running so low. I'm literally making air orbs right now just to like get rid of the remaining battle saves. So I can just have a few more rounds. Okay, and then to expand on it even further, Ridgewood asks, recently you said you're passing your main's total XP. Thoughts on the switch from max main to Iron Pleb? What motivated you during the early game, and what advice do you have toward those wanting to try an Iron Man but are reluctant to put in the time?
Does reluctant to put in the time mean that they don't have the time, or don't want to put in the time?
They probably just have realized they put in so much time on their main that they just don't want to repeat it. I don't know.
Well, I could tell you that like the feeling of like getting your first Zora drops or getting like your first Zenite is nothing compared to like getting, I don't know, a good team split or something on a main account, or like getting a high value item on your main. It's so much better than that feeling, and that's what really got me hooked. Is just the fact that if you get an item, it is useful instead of just seeing it as a pile of cash that you just earned and you can buy whatever you want. You have to do the actual content that the item is related to obtain the item, and the feeling of actually completing that and getting that is so good. That's what like my main motivation is for Iron Man.
I can just imagine those mains that are really into Collection Log. Like, Collection Log has made main more into an Iron Man mode, because now there is untradeable things that you can unlock, basically.
Yeah, that is very true. When at the time when I had my main Collection Log was not a thing, so I do agree with that. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say as well, like the twisted kits, when those are being pulled to be untradeable or tradable, the fact that they were passed as untradeable really means that deep down, everybody, at least it feels like to me, deep down, people really want to be an Ironman. People want that achievement of like, you have to get things yourself.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Like, I
Yeah.
feel like everybody deep down craves that, if they want to admit it or not. But with Iron Man, it's everything. Every single thing is like
Yeah.
unlocked for you. So it's not just certain things. It's every single thing, which makes the game mode so fun. There is
I
no
feel like
buying anything.
the main complaint I hear from people that are reluctant to put in the time is supply grinding. Those are people who genuinely just enjoy PVM and
Yep.
just want to do it. They want to come home and kill some bosses with their friends and don't have to worry about, oh, I have to make like some stamina potions or some super combats or something like that. They don't want to have to worry about that, and I can completely understand that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and it's Iron Man mode's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's for everybody because I like it, but I have to understand everyone's different.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to put yourself in their perspective and see
Yeah.
like how someone would look differently at that. But
And I will say, like, there are some really fun things about Maine. One of those is like basically, flipping and investing on the GE. Like, that's something you miss out on as an Iron Man. Like,
yeah,
you don't get that like 0 time like stonks, in the GE and get to like, you know,
we have to 0 time miscellanea. That's
yeah.
about it.
And some people really love multi-logging, so a main is like really fun for them because they get like an alt that's like funding their money and stuff. And
Yeah,
so there's different ways to look at it. I really love playing one account at a time and just progressing it beyond anything else.
me too. That was like one of my main criticisms to the patent on the main, because as it went on, more and more like metas were being discovered of alting, mainly alting methods. People were
Yeah.
trying to like, it was mainly more and more steering towards that. And if you enjoy that, that's great. But I feel like there's a lot of people who enjoy just playing one account, and
Yeah.
I'm probably one of them. I don't mind playing one other account for some cases, like I don't know, raid scouting, and there's some alting methods for Ironman that I do that I enjoy. But preferably just one account.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think of all the Iron Man alt changes? Because there's always going to be ways to alt and make things more efficient on an Iron Man. Like, for the easiest
Yeah.
example is holding the Tanner up in the crafting guild. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that is alting, but it's like at its most simple point.
Yeah, that's like the most basic.
But there's always going to be ways to get around it. But what do you think overall of the changes they've made this year, and what are your thoughts on it?
I'm happy with the direction they're going towards. Especially like the corp changes and everything. To be completely honest, I did a lot of corp alting, and I'm someone that is like, I do believe in, if the resource is there and it's not against the rules, then that is totally fine to do. But
Yep.
I always wanted it from the beginning. I would have loved to see from the beginning that would never have been a thing.
Yeah.
But as long as the resource is there, I don't mind using it. I understand that
You
there's
have
people
to.
that
Like, the amount of time
Yeah.
you save is disgusting. Like,
it's ridiculous. I understand that there's people who are like strong enough to have the moral, like, even though the resource is there, I'm not going to use it.
yeah.
I guess I'm just not strong enough for that, or like I just don't have that mindset, like, to still not do Altered Corp, even though like I have the resources there. I have many like friends who are just like, oh yeah, you can use my iron to do that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. When it's not against the rules, like, I will never hate the player for using anything that's allowed in the game.
But
But
then again, how it is now, I prefer that. I
Yeah.
prefer it to being the original Iron Man way. And as soon as it got changed, I was happy with that. But before it was changed, I was using the ultimate method just because it was there.
Yep.
I was allowed.
yeah, same. I did like Resh lent me his alt for a little bit back in like 2019, and so I used it for a week. Got like 300 corp kills.
Shout out Rush.
So I am definitely not a perfect example, but I love when they make updates and they make it so Iron Man goes back to its simple form of solo game mode. You get things by yourself,
Yeah.
So
I mean, as another example is the current method that a lot of people are using for KQ. A person that uses that as well, to have your main sit there and Tango Justy to do longer trips like you do Cerberus, where you suicide with an inventory of food, and
yep.
then you just stay there instead of doing POH. It's only like 1 or 2 more kills per hour.
Yeah, that's
But
the difference between it's like where Corp
yeah,
it's 3 times as many kills
yeah.
potentially.
Corp was a very massive difference. This is just like a different way of doing KQ.
Yeah.
And it's very similar in kills per hour. It's just different way, and it's enjoyable. But if it would get removed, I would have minded. I prefer that.
Yeah.
And we just go back to doing POH method. That's totally fine.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm really happy with the J mods leading Ironman mode back into that direction, because that's what it used to be, and that's, I feel like people really enjoyed the mode when it was very integrity based, where people would get basically de-iron, like Bonesaw getting de-ironed for using shots.
Yeah.
Like that was back in the days where like people would actually they respected the like, and that's the same thing with main mode. I remember talking to Dan Gleesack, and Hexus used to frown big time upon people doing any Nightmare Zone.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a very big, like, you couldn't be a part of Hexus if you were doing Nightmare Zone. Like if you were AFKing and shit. Like it was just into everything. Everybody was more into like morals and stuff. And then all of a sudden there was a shift where nobody gave a shit anymore about it. It was just free for all, just do whatever you want, which is cool in some way, but I really miss the kind of integrity we used to have for the game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's kind of taking a shift back. Yeah. Okay. Oreo asks, favorite grind/boss?
Favorite grind/boss. I think my favorite grind of all time is Zora back on my main, actually.
Was that on release?
Well, partially it was released. That was like my main introduction to PVM almost, or like when I started actually PVMing more, becoming like less of a noob, let's say, because that's how I started off my streaming as well. Is when I went pretty damn dry for the Zora pet. It took me almost 15,000 kills on my main back in the day then. So that was like what I did on stream. I would just hop on, do like 100 Zora kills, and hop off, and that was my stream, and just chatting with everyone, and that's how it started off. And I really enjoyed that. The boss was really weird. Like the first like 10,000 kills that was before raids came out. That was without rigor and augury. It's just so weird to imagine that now. Like the first like 4,000 kills without a blowpipe, even just using a rune crossbow. It was just such a like roller coaster of using different gear and like going back and forth there. And I still always wanted that pet. And then eventually it happened, and that's when I like converted into actually going for pets and more pets. But I always wanted to pet hunt, but I was just stuck there for so long.
Yeah.
The beginning. So that was actually my favorite.
You made, I guess, billions probably, right?
Yeah, because part of it was before, or like, no, wait, all of it was before the Zora changes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
literally all of it. I was gonna say part. No, literally all of it was before the Zora changes. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot. How many mutagens did you get?
6.
Damn.
Before.
Or
3 of each.
Wow, nice. That's crazy. 3 of each mutagen, no pet.
Oh, I only got 1 jar as well. That's even more baffling to me.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't mean right? as much. It's 1 in 3K, and the pet is 1 in 4K. But like a jar doesn't mean as much to people as a pet. But even though it's less rare, and I only got 1 of them as well. After like 12K kills, I got my first one, and I like freaked out over it, and no one had an idea why.
What are your thoughts on the Jar of Darkness being so ridiculously rare?
I hate it, and I hate that. I don't know how the community voted no to that. How did that happen? How does everything pass nowadays, and that did not pass the poll? How did that? I really
because
don't know
people
how that
don't. There's a bunch of noobs voting that just will never go for it, so it just doesn't matter to them.
But even like if you don't care about it, why would you vote no? Or like, why would you not just skip question? I really, it still baffles me how that question did not pass the poll.
Do you think it's gonna get repolled?
I hope it does.
Do you think that's a good thing if things get repolled after being polled?
It's really case by case.
Is the case by case just depending on whether you want it or
Yeah.
not?
I guess
Yeah, no,
partially, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's also for like health of the game. Like
Yeah.
this jar, what does it really do for the health of the game? Like staying like this, it will keep people complaining. Like who's happy with the current state of the jar?
Okay, so listen,
Like,
I am going to give my opinion on it. I would be happy if they were to guarantee, say, it will never get repolled. This is how it is for the end of time. Then I'd be happy with it. But the horrible thing is, I think everybody in the back of their minds thinks I have to hold on to my totems because this thing's going to get repolled again. That's the thing that bothers me so much, is that we can't even just do Scotizo and be like, this is how it is. Nope, because we all on the back of our minds are thinking it's going to get repolled. That's what bothers me so much about it.
Yeah, that they will never give that confirmation.
Yeah, and
it's final.
You know, there can never really be a confirmation for it because the game's always changing. So like, I don't know. It's just kind of awkward.
Yeah. I hope it gets repulled and I hope it passes. Personally, the only problem I just have is that I always wish that jars were untradeable right from the start, just like pets are.
Yep,
it would have been so much cooler. But it's too late for that now.
Yeah, well, for mains anyway.
Never too late, but yeah, for mains it is too late.
Yeah, I just think like that's the beauty of Ironman mode. Ironman got all of that. Every single thing's untradeable.
Yep,
it's the beauty of it. So, what do you think about Ironman not being able to use pre-obtained items on their collection log, or previously obtained, I should say, before the collection log came out?
I just know that the engine doesn't allow it. I would like it to be possible.
The engine doesn't allow it?
I don't think it's physically possible for them to make that a thing.
Oh, that's such bullshit. I don't believe that at all. If they
You don't believe that?
No. They could easily make it. They could easily put that in. And unless I have never heard them say anything that it's against. All I've ever heard is their excuse was Mod Rock saying that there was a time where Ironman basically got items like glitched onto their account through the dual arena bug and stuff, and now they don't. That's their whole reasoning. That's what I've heard.
Like, but that's like such bullshit as well, because how many accounts did that?
Exactly. Like, why would you limit every single person off of like maybe a few people back years and years ago when there wasn't even TOB or Chambers or anything to have, they drop traded a Bandos Tacits or something over, just potentially. Like, who knows? But there's nothing like that. I don't know. I feel like it was.
Do they really think that there's going to be this one guy with like a full collection log with all cool items all of a sudden? Like,
I think the real reason is because it would piss off mains. It would have pissed off a lot of mains initially that Ironman get a bunch of free collection log spots and mains don't. That was the only reason, in my opinion. That is the reason that it didn't happen. I don't think it has anything to do with the engine not being able to produce it.
They're not free though, because the Ironman still have earned those drops.
I know, but mains could have also have earned it, and then it's unfair because the mains can't prove it. So that's why it's unfair. But at the same time, it's such a dumb argument because it's like, dude, okay, the collection log has been out for years now. Like, just let irons that have gotten something, that have proof that they've gotten it, just put it on their damn collection log. I don't think it has anything to do with the engine. I think it's just I don't know. I really hope that eventually comes out because I guess the more the collection log's been out, it's just nice to be able to show that you've obtained something.
Yeah.
Is anyone actually going for like full, like every third age piece? Like, it's not like there's really a race to number one. That shit takes like over 60 years to like, as a main with unlimited money to get like all third age.
Hey, Jace is well on his way.
Dude, I wonder what Hey Jace is going to do because, like completing the third age on the hard log is cool and all, but then you have, as soon as you want to go for the master collection log, like you're going to be getting so many dupe third age pieces of like the lesser tier.
I
pretty
think
much.
that's never gonna be his focus. I think he's mainly doing it now because he's enjoying Harkless so much, and he's
Yeah.
still getting them at a fairly decent rate, like new slots in the third age log.
Yeah. No, I
And
think
of
it's
course, he knows that it will slow down.
yeah. I wonder. I actually haven't ever really calculated it. I wonder what the most efficient way, if you're going macro efficiently for the collection log, would be. Would that literally just be to do masters only until you've completed every master third age, and then go down the tiers by that? Like, what do you think?
Uh,
Like,
Probably the other way around, right?
I mean, wouldn't it be masters first though? Because wouldn't you want to get all the all the master third age, like the druidic and tools and stuff, and then go to elites? Because during that time you can get the other third ages as well. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to. Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
The
Yeah.
um,
Not like it really
yeah,
matters, but
I guess you just guess it depends on like completion time, like how many
yeah.
rolls. Yeah,
And the other thing is, like, I was thinking, oh, you would just do elites because you can actually get the master third age from elite mimics, but I don't know if that would be. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It's not like it matters, but yeah, I always am intrigued by players that go for like super intense long term goals, like Hey Jace,
yeah.
going for like super completion and pets and already obtained 200, already done 200 mil all. It's crazy.
He's always been a massive inspiration for me. Like even with streaming and stuff, he's helped me out so much in the beginning.
That's awesome. Helpful dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Duck Risk says, you've said before that your English has gotten a lot better because of streaming. How was that process, and what does it feel like looking back on the early days?
Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, it RuneScape has been like my guide to English, basically, right from like when I was younger. I learned all my English from RuneScape. I almost like to believe,
Wow.
and like communicating with people. Yeah, it's, like English is a mandatory class here in the Netherlands, like mandatory thing you gotta follow. But I feel like I always had such an advantage already over everyone else just because of RuneScape, and that's such a cool thing to me.
Yeah.
But in streaming wise, yeah, in the beginning, I definitely feel like my English was a lot worse. I struggle over my words a lot more. I still do, because this is it.
What?
I would get stuck right there as I'm talking about how I feel would struggle less. Um, no, damn, now I'm flustered. What do I want to say?
Your English is great. I think it's
Well, thank
I think
you.
it's almost
I appreciate
perfect.
it.
I
I always hated it where you could very clearly hear someone's Dutch accent over their English, and I've always wanted to work on that, like try to make that as least hearable as possible. Of course, you always hear that little spark of Dutch in my English, but over the years, I feel like that's gotten a lot better, especially when I look back on like early clips
yeah.
of me.
God, or looking back at early clips of my streams is painful. Like, it's so
Oh, it
cringe.
is. I mean, I already hate looking at a clip from like yesterday just because I
Same.
cringe at seeing myself. I cringe at hearing my own voice. I hate it.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't ever cringe at hearing my own voice. I cringe at uh like listening back to like me trying to articulate something because I'm so bad at it, and I'm like, this is gonna be a painful like train wreck listening to me trying to explain something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know.
Even though like 1,000 people could tell you that you don't have to and that it's fine, it will never be fine in your own
Yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool that a video game can do that and just help you out so much with English.
So I'm curious. So Jetpack Duck just asked, like, how are you so handsome? What hairstyling products do you use, and can you share your diet? Um, all like I remember. I guess me reading this, I just want to say, like, I remember, like, you have lost some weight, and it seems like you've gotten just a lot more like healthy and
Yeah,
fit.
definitely.
So what caused that? Because I feel like a lot of
I
gamers kind of
hmm
can, I don't know, relate.
I don't know. It was just a certain like switch in my head that said like I think it was actually now I remember exactly. It was at my dad's birthday. It was his 50th birthday, I think. One of my uncles literally just straight up called me fat, and I'm like, I'm not having that. And I feel like that everyone just needs that one little like thing or that little spark that ignites that switch in your head,
Fucking
and that's what
uncles,
did it
dude.
for me. Yeah.
Fuck, fucking. It just, I can imagine that at a family reunion of my own. Just like, fuck you, dude. But do you think that
And
was the
of
thing?
course, like in the moment, you just play it off, you just laugh it off, like, ah, it's
Yeah.
just my uncle saying that. But actually, like that night, it was just boiling in my head, and I'm like, you know what? He's right. I gotta change something. So I just like in the beginning, it was mainly my diet. I was around 110 kilos, I think, at my highest point, which is I'm gonna do conversion real quick.
Thank you. Americans appreciate it.
I'll put it to the freedom units real quick. I was 242 pounds
Okay.
at my highest point. And that was when I was like 19 or something.
And wait, and
Uh,
just for I guess our own info, like how tall are you? I guess.
I'm 6'3", like
Oh, you.
109.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I'm pretty tall.
Yeah,
But
I
even
wouldn't even
for
say that's like hardly. I mean, I understand it's probably overweight, but it's like barely. You're
yeah,
fucking a giant.
I mean 110 is still like or like 240 is definitely overweight even
Yeah.
for that length.
I just think of my
And
brother
like,
because he's a bit bigger as well, but
is he also like 6'3" or?
he's like 6'1" and he's like 250 or something. But he's been
Oh, okay,
losing weight over time. 'Cause
that's good on
he
him.
was pushing like 300 at one point,
Ooh.
but yeah, he has been like on a diet and stuff, and he's been like working out and stuff, so it's been cool to see. But yeah, so what did you change?
Yeah, well, I got to that point, but like I used to play soccer for about 9 years, and then I got a knee injury, stopped that. That's when I started video gaming a lot, and then over the years, you just accumulate kilos. If you just play video games and go to school and like don't do any activity outside of that, so like that. Eventually, I got to that uncle point, and then I just started changing my diet. So the main thing was just like always having some food next to you while you're gaming or like I have like a little table next to me where I have like my water now and stuff. But there would always be some food on there, like a snack or just some other food, and never any water or anything as well. And I would just like not have anything next to me and just stick to the big meals every day. And slowly that number would go down over time. And all of a sudden that started like increasing. And after like losing like 20 kilos, going down to all right, I'll convert it again. Going down from like 240 to sub 200. That's when I started working out too. I got really into like watching fitness YouTubers and like actually doing a lot of researching into like how to convert your body and building more muscle and everything. Because I started noticing that my weight loss started being a little stagnant, or I wasn't happy with how my body looked. So I wanted to
Yep.
change that too, because you could lose weight, but you could still like look like shit, basically. So I wanted to work on that, and I lost another like I don't know, like uh, I went down to 175, I think, at some point. And yeah, that just made me feel so much healthier. And it was just simply, it really needs to be a switch in your head
Yeah.
that needs to go over. Everyone can tell you, like, you have to lose weight, eat less of that, eat less of that, but you need to be genuinely motivated to do it.
Yep.
If that genuine motivation isn't there, you're not going to make it. You'll always fail.
Yep. I can completely agree with that. My brother, it took a switch for my brother. I don't want to just talk for other people, but he was talking to a girl that he used to date pretty much, and there was something in there where, like, because they had sort of like broken up, and then they like reconnected and they were talking, something in that conversation just sparked like he needs to lose weight and like get healthier and stuff, because he had been letting himself go for like a bit too long. And so there's always just the one spark that goes for most people that end up losing weight. And I think that spark was him talking to a girl he used to like.
Yeah.
But,
A lot of people will tell you like you have to do it for yourself, but in reality, a lot of people that will just not work for. That's not enough motivation doing it for yourself.
yeah.
And that might be healthier that you want to do it for yourself, because then you know that your motivation is coming from within and you always have yourself. But if there's something like, for instance, like wanting to look good for a girl, then and that works for you, then that's fine too, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing. But the scary part about that is if that would fall away out of your life, would you completely fall back into your old habits?
True.
But I would never want to go back to what I looked then. And if I like just looking at my face, like I was holding so much like water weight just in my cheeks and everything, and just seeing how much better shaped my face is now, I would never want to go back to that.
Yeah. Oh, you look good. You look sexy.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but I just find it motivating to see other people that do their kind of silent journey, because in my eyes it was a very just personal journey for you to do that, so that was awesome.
It was, yeah. I think the first time I tweeted about it, I was already like 40 pounds down or something when I first like actually started speaking about it.
That's awesome. Because I've been making my own little lifestyle changes. I do not live a healthy lifestyle for the most part, but I'm getting there. First things first, stop caffeine, and I think the headaches are finally stopping now. It's been a week.
That's good. I know that Max was a big inspiration for you.
Yeah, that he definitely was. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see other gamers making like their own gains, I should say, or losses or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I should say that I can't wait to make my coffee after the cast.
Hey, it's okay when people say like they want their coffee, because I was never a coffee drinker, so that doesn't make me like, oh, I want my coffee.
Yeah.
So you're good. But if you say like crack open a nice cold Red Bull, that sounds pretty damn good right now. Not gonna lie.
Oh no, I've never been into energy drinks.
That's good.
I despise them. Yeah, no, I despise energy drinks.
That's good. I despise sugar-free energy drinks. I hate those. They taste like poison, dude. I like just loaded up with sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mafia asks, is it true your mom wakes you up during bingo so you don't ever sleep?
I can't believe we threw that in there. All right, so this happened once. Yes, I am a big fan of playing bingo events. I don't know if you've played in any like in the past like year
I hate bingos, dude.
What do you hate about them?
Dude. Okay, so the last bingo I did, I went like 600 sire dry of an unsired in general, and then I also did like the bryophyte to grind during that, and I didn't get anything, and I did like some other shit. I never get anything. My team always sucks. This was back when I was in solitary, and so ever since that last bingo I tried, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this bullshit anymore.
I could say that the boards and stuff and like the content that's on there has definitely improved a lot over the past like year or so. Ever since I joined, it's been fun. I don't know. It just makes you do content that you normally that I wouldn't just randomly go out of my way of doing. I don't know. It just gives that random motivation on top of like going for the items. You're also trying to go hard for your teammates and like trying to win with them. It's just a fun concept. But to go back to what Jordan said is yes. For like 5 or 6 days straight, I'd been like sleeping like 3 or 4 hours a night, which I hate doing, but we were in a good position at bingo. And one day, I guess I overslept, and I sit in the attic. My room's in the attic, and my mom has like a room in the hallway over where she just sits sometimes, and she couldn't hear me talking at the time I was normally have been talking the days before. So she literally came into my room and she literally like shook my shoulder and said, "It's bingo time," and then she just walked out of my room again. And I guess I told my team that story, and the word spread a little bit.
That's funny as fuck. God damn it. Okay. We're gonna have to take a quick break. I'm gonna take a pee. Be right back.
I'll be the same.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'll be back in like a minute or so.
Yep.
All right, I'm back. Welcome back.
Good to go again whenever.
All right. Okay, so we were talking about. Oh yeah, your mom waking up for bingo. Okay, let's. So, Duck Chris wants you to talk about the Dutch community for a bit. Anyone to shout out or interesting stories from the days before streaming?
I don't really like most of my friends, like even my Dutch friends, we communicate in English. Like most of the Dutch people that I know hate speaking Dutch online, and they just speak English regardless of two people being Dutch.
Oh
They will
wow.
still communicate in English to each other, which I always found very interesting. But the only like Dutch community I was in was like all the way in the beginning when I told you about that friend Jono that like I started playing Old School with,
Yeah.
and we'd like go on like duo bando strips and stuff with each other, like in the beginning of our PVM adventures. That's like the only like real interaction I had with Dutch people. And then from then on, it's just been mixed in with like all the English communities, and those people I will know from that they're Dutch, but we'll always just communicate in English. So I don't really have like any interesting stories for that part.
Yeah. That's interesting though that you would talk in English.
Yeah, I've always found that like that's kind of weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've made a lot of like. So I guess one cool story is that about 2 years ago I met up with a bunch of. So it was my birthday in July, and I decided to get a bunch of like Dutch RuneScape people together, and we went like bowling in the center of the country, like in like one of the main cities, of the country. So the Netherlands is very small. Like you could drive through the entirety of the Netherlands in like 2.5, 3 hours. That's how
Oh
small.
damn.
Yeah, that's how small the Netherlands is. So it's kind of crazy to think that like we're the third like highest population on the game, like after the UK and America, for like such a small country. That's so weird to think to me as
You
well.
probably run into a lot of people that play RuneScape then.
Yeah. I mean, when I originally went to that software engineering class, there was like 12 people who played Old School RuneScape.
Wow.
And when Wintertodt got released, we all just played. We did Wintertodt together in class, like on
That's
release,
awesome.
because I was during class. And that was really funny. All right, I say that I don't have any cool stories, and now I'm thinking of all these things. That's kind of funny. All right, so what I wanted to tell you is that we in July we went bowling together, and it was with like a bunch of people that you probably know. I should honestly like grab the picture from that. It was really cool. I
Do
had
it.
people like, I don't know if you know Danscape.
I know of him from like his Twitch name, but I
Yeah.
don't know him like personally.
Not the
Yeah.
cast. Mutt was there.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of people on
I've
site.
probably seen this picture.
Yeah, it was.
Find it if you can. If you can, it's
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
I'll go look for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look for it. But yeah, that was really cool. We just like went bowling, had a drink, we ate some food together, and it was just a fun gathering of like people that we had never met before. And that was that was the second time before the second time I was going to RuneFest, so it was like my second time meeting up with people from RuneScape.
So is it we? Okay, so you've been to RuneFest, have you?
Twice now,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Is how is it meeting people that you've known from like streams and just how is it like meeting up with people that have the same passions as you, like that you love
It's
RuneScape?
it's fucking awesome. I'll tell
Because
you
I've
that.
never been to
Rune,
RuneFest or anything,
yeah,
so
no, RuneFest is once you've gone once, you'll want to go again every time. It is fucking awesome. It's just like the first 30 seconds are weird and awkward, and then it just like feels like second nature, like you've known each other for years.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just so cool. And I know for people that are worried about like drama that you usually see on Twitter and stuff, you notice nothing of that during RuneFest. It's all just good fun, good times.
That's so cool.
Everyone's so kind to each other, like
That's
talking to the J mods and everything. It's really cool.
that's what's kind of a shame is like with the anonymous what's the word,
And
anonymity and
and and
anonymity. I don't know what anonymity.
oh, is this the pronunciation thing that you talked about earlier?
I'm struggling, man. Please help me. No, but whatever it is, like I feel like just being anonymous on the internet makes it so much easier to be a toxic asshole.
Yep.
And then when you're actually with people, you're not gonna be like that. You're gonna be happy
Yeah.
and you're gonna have a really fun time. So that sounds so nice having the meetup.
I found the picture, by the way.
Oh, you did? Link it. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Let's see it.
Oh yeah, Morad is also on the
Oh
front.
wow.
UIM Verf is in the background. He was there.
That's
There's a
awesome.
lot of people. I'm like cheeking out with my head there in the back. Yeah, it was a really good time.
That's awesome.
But yeah, RuneFest is just exactly like that. RuneFest, sorry. It's so good. It's just like it's a weekend is almost not enough because you have like these short conversations with everyone and you'd love to talk to them for longer, but there's just so many people to talk to that you almost like don't want to talk longer with them. And it's
Yeah.
but yeah,
God, that
it's
sounds so much. I wonder there's no way there's a RuneFest this year, right?
no. If I think that realistically, like around that time, it would be allowed again, but they have to do so much planning ahead of time with
Yeah.
so much uncertainty right now that they just can't do that.
So you think
So
next year though, for sure?
yeah, yeah, I'm pretty confident that next year there will
That
be
I
one.
want to do that then. I want to plan
I
for that.
would 100% do it.
That sounds like
Like
so much fun.
the last one, the first person I saw was actually BF Rocket. He like I had arrived a day early, and him, Sync, and a cold one had a Airbnb together, and like he asked me to come over because there was no one there yet, and just like right from that moment, it's just like them inviting me over, even though like we have never like seen each other before, but it just feels like you're friends already just
Yeah.
because you've been talking online. It was just instantly everyone was just so chill with each other and just going to there's like one bar there that everyone goes to. It's just and just all of the RuneScape people just take over that bar. It's just only like people that are coming from RuneFest, and it's a really good time. I would highly recommend it to anyone that has never gone to go.
Yeah,
It's
that sounds like so much fun.
yeah, it
I wonder if
is.
they'll ever do an American one, like one in the U.S.
I
Oh, really?
think they've said they wouldn't.
Oh, really?
Just, yeah, just because it's a UK-based
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be kind of weird, but
Mm. I would
yeah.
love that for you guys to have one there.
I mean, there's always like
But
Twitch cons and stuff, but
yeah,
RuneFest is definitely like,
yeah. A lot of RuneScape people do go to Twitch cons, but it's less than RuneFest, of
yeah,
course.
and it's just packed with so many other people that you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot bigger event.
Okay. Let's see. MC Matt, god damn it, asks also thoughts on TOB being safe now in PvP worlds. Oh yeah, he asked something else. It was like some like meme. It was a okay, so he
He's the
he
most
says
memey guy I know.
ri-
Just
okay, first we'll just briefly return to streaming Black Widow spiders, and we're not even gonna go through the voice crack clip. What is that? Do you want to go into that? What's the Black Widow spiders?
All right. So for the longest time, until like a year ago, I thought that they were called Black Widow spiders, and for some reason, the conversation came up about them. At some point, we were talking about Australia or something, and I said like there would randomly just be a Black Widow spider on you, and everyone was just like, "Did you just say window?" I'm like, "Yeah," and for some reason, it became a meme.
Yeah,
I always thought they were called Black Widow spiders.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there was what I can't even think of the word right now, so I won't. But there was a word like that where I just always thought something was called something else, and then when you get called out on it, it's like, oh god, like
So
you just
awkward.
look like such an idiot, and there's no recovery from it. You just have to like embrace it. Yeah. Okay. He also asks thoughts on TOB being safe now on PvP worlds. That's another meme. Now I'm seeing there after dying there on his iron. Yeah. So I've heard this story, and I know you just mentioned it on your stream yesterday about it, but you had died and lost a bunch of gear by. Here, can you just go into the story real quickly of how you died at TOB Bank?
Yeah, so that night I was on my maxing grind working on construction, and I was making planks doing the like PvP world meta where you bank at Camelot and you tele to your house and you just plank making like that. I was doing that for a couple hours and I was kind of fried from that, just like doing it on autopilot. And one of my friends, Shadow was at the time, they needed a +1 for TOB. And I was like, yeah, sure, fine. So I geared up, just brain dead. Like I was like, oh, anything to get me away from construction right now. Just geared up, ran over to the bank, and stood there for a little bit. And all of a sudden, like my bank screen got canceled, and I was like, what's happening? And then I got claw-specked once, and I still didn't realize what was happening. And then I looked over in the bottom right of my screen and saw the skull. And at that point, I was already getting claw-specked for a second time. So I was already dead at
Damn.
that point. He killed me in like one barrage and 2 claw specs, and that was just like straight at the bank booth.
How is that not safe?
I have no idea.
I thought all banks, when you're right next to a bank, is safe.
No,
In
apparently
PvP worlds.
not.
That's fucked.
But yeah,
How did
so
you feel right then?
I mean, I was on Discord with a couple friends, and I was
Oh
laughing my
god.
ass off. I was like, "There's no way that just happened," and they were the one being like, "Oh no, oh god," and I was honestly like, "This is actual comedy. Like, there's no way that just happened." And I honestly like, I'm very grindy when it comes to this game, and I was already not worried about just grinding that stuff back because I knew that I would. I'm way too stubborn to not do that and get everything back.
Yeah.
So I honestly, like 20 minutes after I was already at Zora with my Dragon Hunter crossbow, like trying to get my blowpipe back because I didn't have a spare one.
That's insane, dude. I would have been so pissed. I have nightmares of losing gear. Like
uh,
one piece of gear. I have nightmares of that. Just and
um,
they're mainly huge things like TiVo or Scythe or something.
oh yeah,
But like I even had a nightmare, and it's always way over exaggerated in your dream because it's like the end of the world because that's the only thing you're thinking of in your dream. But
yeah.
I had one nightmare where I lost my eternal glory, and it was just like
Ooh.
this horrible like thing that I could never re-get, and I was like, this isn't that bad. Like it's just like 30 hours maybe, but it's like, damn, it was horrible in my dream. So
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. Honestly, I just laughed it off, and I was just like, yeah, I'll just this is my mistake, and I'll grind for it. And I instantly went back, of course, because I thought like maybe I could re-get something off the floor that he might have not gotten. And then I realized that I was a level 3 standing inside an NPC at the entrance of TOB. So I like talked to him, and he told me like, yeah, I was the one that killed you. So he added me on Discord, and that's how I got like the kill picture of him killing me with all the gear in it. So I just wanted to know exactly what I was, because I didn't even realize at that point.
just like friends question mark, like want to be
Yeah.
friends now. You just jacked all my shit. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, we just stood there and chatted for a bit. He said, like, you're taking it well. And he said that he killed a bunch of people like that over the past few weeks.
Damn,
So, yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's horrible though. Just to lose shit that you work on, because it's not just like GP buying it back. You got to regrind it.
Yeah.
Okay. Bazam is asking, what is your favorite part of the Ironman mode all in all? What is the grind you are least looking forward to doing in terms of your own goals? If you could remove one thing from OSRs, what would it be? And what motivates you to keep playing every day for long hours? We'll cover the first one. What is your favorite part of Ironman mode all in all?
I think what we discussed earlier is just like the feeling of getting a piece of gear or getting a piece of something and knowing that's actually useful to you, instead of just seeing it as some money that you just earned that you can buy gear with later. That's just such a different feeling.
Yeah.
That is honestly like the beauty of Ironman mode to me, and you know that you earned that, you did that.
Yep. And there's a badge next to you, so there's no question whether you earned it or not. It's like,
yep, exactly.
Okay, what is a grind you are least looking forward to doing?
I guess the one thing I'm like really afraid about is going very dry on an alley after seeing Jack recently.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is like that's not even as bad as it can really get. It could get so much worse than 3 times rate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
terrifying.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just because Corp is like not that engaging. Corp is Corp.
Do you do the games necklace method?
Yeah, it made it a lot more fun. Thank you for making that video, honestly, because it made Corp a lot more fun. But it's still Corp.
It's still Corp. No, I agree.
Corp.
And it's just like you haven't had great luck there. You recently got a spectral though, right?
Yeah, like 3.4k. Well, I had great luck because I got an 82 kill on Arcane, so that was great luck.
Yeah, but then getting like 4 more right after, right?
Yeah.
That's not amazing. And you don't have a pet yet, do you?
No.
Yeah, so you have pretty luck. Yeah, but it's just kind of painful when you just realize, like, as soon as it feels like whenever you get a new sigil, it's like, oh, time to restart, like 6 kills an hour, like going,
Yep.
let's regrind 100 hours to get to the drop rate again. It's like,
yeah,
that's how it kind of feels.
Even though it doesn't work like that,
it
feels
still
like
feels like you gotta like work for it again, put in a bunch of hours.
Yep.
Yeah, getting an early Ellie is the best. That is the most optimal. Or if you're like full completionist, getting an early pet, which I have 2 now. God damn it.
Yeah.
But getting
I'm so jealous of that second pet. I'm not gonna lie.
It just sucks to see. Like, I know there's people that are just pissed, but it's like, God, that's like the last thing you want to see is a dupe pet. Like, come on, man. But yeah, no, getting an early Ellie or getting an early pet is an incredible relief at Corp.
It really is. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and then he also asked if you could remove one thing from OSRs, what would it be?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Damn. Would I really want to remove? I don't think there's anything I would really want to remove. Oh, wait, never mind. MTA. I despise MTA.
Okay, I have to ask, what's your least favorite room? There.
Alchemy.
Thank God somebody agrees with me. Alchemy is by far the worst.
Yep.
It's
Couldn't agree more.
horrible.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Alchemy
like
is terrible.
telekinetic. Nah, fucking
Yeah.
alchemy, dude. That room is just it
I don't
just
know.
looks like a fucking prison sentence, dude.
I'm very grindy when it comes to this game. I can almost stand anything, but the two things I can't stand in this game are Tithe Farm and MTA.
Tithe
I
Farm's
hate those.
really bad.
I hate those two pieces of content so much.
Yeah. You remember Mino or Message RS? Remember that streamer?
Menno, yeah.
Yeah. He
I do remember.
loved Tithe Farm. Remember when he was doing King of the Skill? I don't know if you ever watched his stream.
Yes. Oh my
He was
god, I
like
completely.
restarting accounts to have like the perfect farming account. I'm like, how? How are you doing this? Like, why? Why have you... nobody's forcing you to do this and you're just doing it? He's like, I like Tithe Farm. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Man,
Dude,
King of the Skill. I'd completely forgotten about that.
King of the Skill was so scuffed because of the whole like people going for it was only okay if you were going for total level. Then it was pretty fair. But when people were like abusing just logging out, like yeah, there was people that would make like an alt for King of the Skill and then do fire making and only log in like when
I mean, people did that for total levels too. So I guess in a sense, it was also scuffed for total level.
yeah, I mean it was scuffed entirely, but at least for total level, you have so many other things to do. Like you have questing to do, you have like a bunch of shit that you need to get done. It was so much more planning instead of just doing one skill. But yeah, that was kind of an interesting. What was cool about it, is that it was a one-time thing. Because if they were to do it again, I mean, if it was like a yearly thing or something, it would just get solved basically. And I don't know. I think it's fine when they come out with scuffed things like that when it's a one-time thing because it's like the original Dead Man mode that came out. Nobody has any clue what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so much fun.
I honestly had a lot of fun at King of the Skill though. I was competing with Jebrim for the
Agility.
the agility one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
In the end, no. In the end, I ended up like 15th or something. There was a lot of people who like found out a really good early game strategy.
Damn.
No idea about. But I made like 5 or 6 different accounts that I played the full 24 hours on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like 6. That's literally like so many
It's
fucking hours. It's like 150 hours that it could have gone into.
It's kind of enjoyable. I just did it with friends who also went for that one. That made it fun.
That's cool. Do you like leagues?
Yes. Oh my god, I had so much fun. So normally I hate anything that takes away from the progress on your account, like on the main game. I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people with seasonal game modes.
Yeah.
Is that they don't want to take away time from their main account's progress. But Trailblazer was like those first 2 weeks of Trailblazer are probably the most fun I've had in the past few years on this game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And just that pop-up every time you got a task is so satisfying. I'm so happy they made that into a thing for the collection log as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's so satisfying. But just like, I don't know, it was such a different way of playing the game, even though it's the exact same game.
How did you play? Did you just play for fun, or did you have any competitive thing to go for Dragon?
I was getting memed, and I was going for the clue scroll route. I wanted rank 1 hard and elite clue scrolls in the leagues, and I kept those for a very long time. For at least for the time when I played, I stayed rank 1 for those.
The worst part is like how fun it is. It just the burnout is so inevitable, and it comes so quickly.
Yeah,
of just like, oh, what am I doing? Like.
That's what I told myself as well. As soon as that would hit, I would instantly go back to the normal game, which I did. So I like kept it fun.
Yeah.
But I killed. So what the clue perk did is like whatever monster. It didn't matter what monster you killed, but it had like a certain drop rate for hard and elite clues. And I found out that tortured gorillas were the best thing to kill in the game for both, because they like drop hard and elite clues. And since it didn't matter like what monster you killed, they always had the same clue rate. You just wanted the monster that you killed the fastest. So the monster that was the fastest to kill, that I had both. Was Tortured Gorillas.
The one time you'll ever kill those ever.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It was a bit different, but it was fun to do.
Yeah. What do you think they're gonna do for the next league?
I
Or what
honestly
would
have
you
no
want to
idea.
see? I guess what would you want to see?
I think they're gonna revisit Zaya.
Do you think it's gonna be area locked, or do you think they should just make it so it's completely different than anything we've ever seen before?
So I think it's gonna be extremely hard for them to beat what they did with Trailblazer. And I think they either are gonna do the same with different like perks and tiers and stuff. Relics, sorry, that's the word. Different relics, or it's just not going to be as good. I think at this point it can only be a disappointment. So I kind of think that they just shouldn't do another one. I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Or do you
It's
don't do
yeah.
another one, or just wait longer, like not do one this year?
Yeah, not do one this year. I don't think they'll have time even to do one this year.
Yeah.
Let's
They're
be real.
planning on it, right? Or are they not? I can't even remember what
I
Husky. I was talking to Husky. I can't even remember if they're planning on one this year.
I think on the roadmap for this year that was not one.
Okay, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
What do you think of group Ironman mode or any new game mode coming out?
Also not happening this year.
What do you think about them though? Do you think are you gonna play group Ironman? Because I think group Ironman's almost inevitable at this point. Like they're gonna push it because there's a bunch of players that think they'll like it.
I think Group Ironman is extremely overhyped and it's going to be a very big disappointment.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think Group Ironman mode is only designed for content creators or
Yep.
very like tight friend groups that are actually gonna just compete for ranks because people love fresh high scores. But for the casual player, it's not going to be it. For a lot of Ironman accounts that just are normal irons, it's not going to be it. And there was one more thing I wanted to say about it. See, content creators only. Oh, yeah, and it's probably gonna be a bunch of people just playing multi-login,
Yeah.
like just playing Iron Mainscape with multiple accounts, basically. Like, yeah.
Yeah. What do you, if there was, do you have any idea or anything that you would want for a new game mode, or do you just not want new game modes?
I personally don't have an original idea for a game mode now. Do you have any?
I want Mithril Man.
Oh god.
Did you hear about that?
Nope.
Mithril
I
Man
have not.
mode. It is literally just a game mode where every single person is basically a main, except you can't use the GE and you can only trade other Mithril Men. So it's a restarted economy where you can only, so you're still kind of an Iron Man because you can only pick up things that you like, you or other Mithril Men got. So probably a lot of weird coding in that to like, you can still pick up stuff, but as long as a Mithril Man, killed it, you could pick it up. So you could like duo bosses, like you could team like Bandos and shit, and you could.
So it's basically like a reset of the economy in the game without resetting the economy in the game.
Yeah, and there's no GE, and so but basically what there would be like little hubs, like there would be like little banks probably where Mithril Men would have bank sales and shit. It would bring back that kind of nostalgia of like
the Varrock West.
yeah,
People
there would be
yeah.
like that nostalgia of like Mithril Men only, little things because like you can only do things as Mithril Men, so
Yeah.
but I've already talked about this and there's some downsides. Like everyone would just eventually resort to like some sort of Zybez thing or
Yeah.
some RuneLight plugin would eventually come up that helps it so it's basically like a Grand Exchange almost, or like a trading post version.
Yeah, I feel like that concept is just not like interesting.
It's
And
just
yeah.
it sounds cool and all, but yeah, when you really started playing it, it just seems like a very diluted mixture of Iron Man and main. That's just maybe a little stale, but I don't know. Something I think that would be kind of fun for a lot of because there are a lot of people that kind of like that Iron Man mode-ish thing, but can trade still, like get supplies and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that nostalgia I don't think will last long of like bank
No,
sales and
it really
stuff.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
People are just too hooked on efficiency nowadays to like really care about that nostalgia.
exactly. It would still be.
Um,
I would still play it though because of the fresh high scores, and it's still very similar to Iron Man.
yeah, it'd be cool, but it'd lose its coolness fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I'm like very. This is just so niche, but it would be kind of cool as if there was this. I'm not advocating for this to be in the game at all, but in my selfish ways, in an idealistic world where everything worked out perfectly, I would really like a game mode that's like Iron Man, but to the extreme, where like you can't use shops and shit, like, and you, I don't know, like it sounds like so sad, but like I really like a game mode where it's really is true self sufficiency, where like you
Yeah.
have to like go craft all your runes if you wanted like runes and stuff, like something that really brings back that sort of Iron Man spirit.
Mhm.
You know what would also be
No,
cool is if they just updated rune crafting to make it so when you did craft like traditional elemental runes, you would get way more than you currently do. So it actually outcompetes buying it from shops. I think that'd be actually kind of cool.
yeah, that'd be sick to like make skilling actually competitive with shop memo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's very tough. Iron Man is king. Can't beat it. Okay. Okay, so I will ask this. Joe Muggs is asking, discuss scammers and their place in the community. Should they be trusted if fixed? Two specific scenarios are a known scammer who repaid scam Scythe was allowed into PVM clan after voting, and the one-eyed owl. I have no idea what any of these are.
all right.
Like,
So yeah,
yeah, you can go first.
the one-eyed owl situation is a similar situation. What happened to me that I'm honestly extremely embarrassed about that I let myself sink that deep. But you said that you like barely knew anything about it,
I
right?
have no idea anything about this stuff.
Okay, so when I still played my main account about 4 years ago, I had a friend. His name was Acid King, and I loaned a T-bow of him, and I said I was gonna PVM with it, and I went staking instead. That's basically the gist of it. And I instantly realized that I fucked up. I was very embarrassed, so I hid for a couple of days because I was like, well, what do I need to do? So after a couple of days, I made it like a public Twitter statement about that, saying like that I fucked up and that I was gonna repay, which I always planned to do. Let that be very clear. Like I cannot like carry that weight on my shoulder of like owing someone something. I did not want to be in that position. So I just like contacted him, and I was lucky enough that Asa King is an extremely chill guy. I still like have him in my stream every single day. I think he even came in today. Like he's just a very chill guy. He like even stayed sub to me and everything because he knew that I would like just pay him back and that it'd be chill.
Yeah.
So after like about a month, I paid him back. And then One Eyed Owl did a similar thing, but he completely disappeared out of the community. He used to be a streamer that like was pretty similar to me, pet hunted, and he took someone's twisted bow, and he still hasn't been back since. Like I've seen him in a couple people's like viewer lists and stuff, so he's still around, but he just like doesn't communicate with anyone,
Wow.
and he
That's
like
sad.
never just like owed up to it. But the so his exact question was like, what the stance is on it? Like what
Yeah, something like that.
he? I guess that's once again like very case by case. I'm of course like I feel like I'm not really in the position to say anything about that because I know that a lot of people still hate me for what happened 4 years ago, which is like I'm not I can't decide for anyone else what they think about me.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, if I heard that from someone else that like what I that like someone else did what I did, then I can understand that people have their opinion about me, and that is totally understandable that they like would have like an opinion about me before even knowing me.
Yeah.
So I don't blame people for that, but I also know that I've grown over the years, and I don't like. I see it appear on like Twitter every once in a while where people like joke about it because people in the HLC like to hold grudges over people over like
Oh. Oh
even
my
even like
God.
years and years later, like people will still bring up stuff from the past
Yeah.
just because they can, and like sensation, and it'll circle jerk around forever.
Yeah. That sucks. But yeah, I mean, you paid him back. Like I literally I'm just I wasn't around then at that time, so I
Yeah,
never
no.
heard about it, but I mean, it doesn't maybe at the moment with like the moment it happened it seemed like really bad, but now in
Hmm.
hindsight, you telling me it doesn't seem that bad. You paid him back and everything.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I like let it once again be very clear. Like, if I was someone else hearing about that, I'd like personally hate me as well because like that's just such a
Yeah.
scummy thing to
Yeah.
do. What I did,
Yeah, I don't know the
and
whole situation, but yeah.
yeah,
But
it really was
it
a
is
funny
a
thing.
shame when people scam and then leave the community or
Yeah.
something, or just like
Hmm.
that's so cringe. Especially if you were friends with somebody and then you
Yeah.
just threw it all away for some RS gold or
Mm.
something.
I was just extremely disappointed in myself that I let myself like sink that deep just because of like the duel arena. That place is, uh, I don't know why it's still in the game. I don't see any like positive sides about the duel arena.
I guess let's kind of go there. What are your thoughts on the duel arena? I mean, if you just shared them, shouldn't be in the game, but
Yeah. I mean, the only positive thing about it now is that it actually has a little gold sink in it, which didn't used to be in there before, like the tax that's on it now.
yeah.
But that's literally the only positive side of it. I don't see anything else being good about it.
Do
It
you
just,
think by them getting rid of the duel arena, there will just come out as like there will just be like other forms of gambling will just be introduced instead in its place?
yeah, I know that's their main argument. But then again, at that point, they are not like responsible anymore for providing that kind of service. That's people specifically going out of their way to find those type of services
Yeah.
instead of there being a feature in the game that they have designed and they support because it's still in the game.
Yeah. Kind of
It's a
I imagine
yeah.
it brings in a ton of money to Jagex. I don't know, I couldn't explain exactly how that happens, but I know there's a lot of people that play this game specifically to gamble and
Yeah.
will like literally try to quit, but then they'll come back just to like buy more gold and gamble.
Hmm.
And so I can imagine it's probably a big chunk of money for Jagex having that.
Yeah.
But
It it is.
yeah.
Yeah, just the membership on those accounts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm completely against gambling, like shit like that. I also, I don't know. I just think it's really degenerate to gamble by any means.
Yeah.
Obviously, when
I
it's
am
like,
now. Yeah.
yeah, when it's like Twitch predictions, like I don't give a shit because it's not actually
Yeah.
like money or anything. But it's like, oh, it's so sad when I see people that like, I don't know. It's just like staking in general. Like even like the kind of innocent form of like, oh, I got to drop a mine and I'm gonna drop it and just stake it. It's like, why don't you just
Yeah.
keep it? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know.
I'm completely like since then I haven't been staking as all, but
Yeah.
when you're caught in that, like once you like are caught in that and know how quickly you could make money there, everything just
Yep.
like
Oh,
PVM and all your time spent loses all of its value, and
yep.
nothing matters anymore because like you could grind like rates for 100 hours, or you could just do a quick 30-second stake and make the money, and
Yeah.
that's it.
I think a lot of it just has to come down to like educating people on it because it's like it's not easy. It's like it's not free money. It's like when you really are educated on it, you just realize like
Yeah.
you're basically just losing money every time you go there.
RuneScape is just like such a game that attracts people that are sensitive to addictive behavior, that a lot of people fall into the pattern of going there and
Yep.
staking, and
Oh
gambling is
yeah.
of course like very sensitive to addictive behavior. So those two things just go hand in hand.
I would imagine anybody that's ever played a main account on this game, like, I would honestly say over 90% of those have staked before.
Yeah, or have at least like had some
Some
form of interaction with the duel
exactly.
arena, or will at some point
It's a
get some
super high.
interaction.
It's probably more than 90%. I'm just
Yeah.
like, a lot of people have interacted with it or just involved themselves in some form of gambling in RuneScape. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what I mean. I don't really care because I just play an Ironman, so I'm not like, I know Adicon and KempQ are always advocating for them to just get rid of it because they both had their moments in the duel arena, so it affects.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just are more passionate about getting it removed.
Yeah. I would like to see it gone as well.
Yeah, Iron Man's pretty beautiful though because there's like just no distraction to go there.
Yeah.
Just...
Well, there was that hard glue step, but they even fixed that. So
I was actually kind of butthurt they moved that dig spot so damn far. Like, why couldn't it just be right at the entrance? I actually am really not a fan of them coming out with clue steps that are just arbitrarily just run really far. Like the 2 Isle of the Souls elite steps.
Oh yeah, I
so
haven't had those yet because they're elite clue steps, right?
Yeah, they're so stupid, dude.
But I've seen you do them. They're ridiculous.
It makes sense. It would make sense if there was a way, if there was some way to get there faster, like an agility shortcut or a teleport that you have to earn or something. But the fact that there's just no way to make it faster and it's just, nope, just run here every single time. It's just dull.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So Waldron asks, tits or ass?
Yes. Personality.
Waldron better fucking resub for me just even acknowledging his fucking
tier 3
thread. Yeah, come on, Waldron, pay up. No,
Waldron, if you hear this, tier 3.
But real talk, always ass. It's always been ass.
It's about the total package and the personality.
It's about person. Well, I mean, if the question is just tits or ass, because I'm not gonna play the high road and say it's personality, it's love, you know. But if it was just a question between those two, always ass.
Always tits for me then.
Damn.
If
really?
It's just
really,
I can't believe we're really discussing this on the Sae Bae Cast. But yeah.
It's a Sae Bae Cast, man. What did you think this was? Some like professional fucking production or something?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I love how professionally like you take this stuff. Like, you might laugh at that, but like you take it very professionally.
Well, thank you.
With how you do things. Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah. Well, always ass. Moving on. Wax Tap asks, should PvP worlds be removed?
I guess.
Did he?
I don't know if
did he ask that because?
meme.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if he's asking at the meme or if he wants that to reinvigorate like activity in the wilderness specifically.
I don't even want to answer this because I just don't PvP. I feel like it would be good for them to remove them, but I know there's a lot of people that love PvP world PKing, so I don't want to be the judge of like, oh yeah, I want this removed because I think
I literally play all aspects of the game but PvP. So yeah.
PvP would be fun if I don't know, like if I had any sort of like if I could get rewarded from it, as in I'm not saying bring out random rewards like BH and shit where everything just gets boosted to shit, but like for example faction wars, that sounds like a really fun engaging piece of content that's PvP related, but
that has more like strategy to it instead of just straight up like clicking ability.
Yeah. And for Iron Man, like if you're getting attacked in the wilderness and you attack back and kill that person, there's no punishment. Like you've basically done nothing. That person can run back and reclaim their shit because you can't pick up anything. And so there is no incentive whatsoever to ever defend yourself in the wilderness. And there are so many Iron Men nowadays that like the wilderness is just this unhealthy, unbalanced shit show for people that aren't the predator, you know? Because I can imagine how fun it is to be a PKer and just attack a fucking running person, like, you know, like
just
free
completely
loot,
annihilate them. Yeah,
yeah, like You're perfectly geared. You're in your element of like have all your tribird gear out, perfect inventory of brews and everything. You're only risking one item, and even that item's like protected basically. And then you're killing somebody that's PVMing. It's like, dude, this whole thing is just. I had a task of 3 Vedian yesterday. I've been doing some Wildy Slayer, and I already have all Wildy pets. So when I get those tasks, I just do 3. And it's like, dude, I'm killing Vedion, and like 4 people risking nothing basically are in Zarishan's robe, start coming at me, ballistating me, and Zarishan
Like
robing me. I'm like, dude, this is
Pablo with his 4 cousins like gets
yeah. I'm
me.
like, I understand how this is really fun for you guys because you're literally not risking anything and you're just getting free loot potentially because it's just a gang up session of just let's gang up on somebody that's defenseless. But it's like, I don't know. I just like the multi-air. Like, I understand a 1v1 fight. That's fair. I'll take that. And I can literally escape any 1v1 person unless they're in like absolute max and they get really good RNG. And I'm like not on my best flicks. But like, dude, when there's 4 people on you constantly fire surging you, oh my God. Like, just not fun, man. This is making me hate PvP just because. Like, oh my God. Just trying to do my 3 fucking kills and there's I don't know. It's part of the game and that's the risk you take, and so I understand that. But if you're trying to make the game, if you're trying to revive PvP, that's not the way to revive it. Just saying.
Yeah. I agree.
So but yeah, I don't know if PvP World should be removed. Okay. I guess we'll kind of look at this one. Opinions on using alts to take less damage on your iron. I know he's just memeing or something, but
That guy literally specifically made that Twitter account to tweet that.
yikes. Okay. Anyway, but I'm just. I guess I am kind of. We've already covered this, but you've already said if something's in the game and it's going to make it more convenient and it's not against the rules, you're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But you would still prefer it to be a solo game.
Yeah.
And I can agree with that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my stance on it.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Okay. Backspace asks, he says, be honest, do you like my memes, Novesey? JK, but on a real note, what do you see yourself doing after streaming / RuneScape? Also, what was the reception of your solo raids world record progression video, and would you consider remaking it?
Yeah. Shout out Backspace. His memes are awful. What do I say? Nah. Backspace makes some quality memes. So, I'll give him that. He works hard on those. And so, like, when he works from home, all he does is just suggest meme ideas to me, and tells me if they're good or not. No, but we pretty much covered the like post RuneScape thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would like to get into either teaching, because I know that is in need in my country at the moment. There's a very like low amount of teachers here.
I hate teaching. I realize that from streaming.
I like kind of hate it in a way as well, and that's why I'm like, it's kind of weird that I want to do that, but I don't know. I feel like
you feel like you'd be good at it.
I feel like I just need to like teach myself to have more patience with people.
That could help.
Like, yeah. Like
I'm
right
impatient.
now, very quickly when someone doesn't get something, I'm like, how do you not get that? Like, even though like I'm the exact same, like I will sometimes take forever to get something, even though it's very simple. So I need to start looking at it from that perspective and know that some people just take longer to understand.
That's cool.
But it's also coming from a part where I have a sister, I have an older sister, and she is she has something called Rett syndrome, and she's also autistic and epileptic, so she like needs to be taken care of 24/7. She pretty much can't do anything alone. So just I admire the patience that my mother has with her, and like just taking care of her for all those years. She's like 25 already, and from like whenever she was born, my mother has taken like care of her 24/7. I just admire her so much for that. So I just want to like follow up on that,
That's
if that
awesome.
makes sense in
Yeah.
any way. Yeah.
Damn. That's yeah. Like moms are a different breed, man. They really
It's
are. I see my
God
mom
bless
and I'm like,
moms.
how have you like
How do you deal with this?
yeah. And just how are you so like giving and caring? Like I
Hmm.
don't understand it because I'm a fucking selfish like mid-20s adult that just still plays RuneScape, you know?
They're they're just like an endless pool of inspiration and positivity that just,
And selflessness.
yeah,
They just
selflessness
don't
mainly.
care. Like they don't do things for themselves.
And
It's
if I could
weird.
just be like in my future could be like a little, just a little snip of that, that would make my, I would be very proud.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Um I'm not seeing any more topics. Do you have any that or any questions or anything that you would like to go into that you've been inspired to get into on the cast or anything? Or is there
Um,
anything that eats you up when you play RuneScape or anything you want to get off your chest?
that eats me up when I play Ring. Not really, honestly. I'm like very content with Old School Runescape, how it is. I enjoy my time on there. I am more of a person that just deals with whatever the situation is on in the video game specifically. Saying like, instead of like constantly complaining about it, or I'll complain about it, but I'll just keep going. You know, like how you
Yeah.
go dry on a pet. You'll like constantly be like, you, for instance, at Nightmare, like you'll
Oh yeah.
constantly bitch about Nightmare, but you'll keep going.
Yep.
You know, you keep doing it.
Yep.
I feel like I'm the exact same thing. I feel like we're very like minded in that.
Do you have very long-term goals with your iron as like stupid
Yes.
as like me? We're trying to go for like full clue completion and stuff.
I don't know if I go that far, but I'm definitely thinking like very far ahead, as in collection log pets. Pets is like a main thing that I've always enjoyed. So,
Yeah. That's
but for
awesome.
now, the main focus is on items. I want to like prioritize that, like get all the useful, like complete the both raids,
So you're
stuff like
very
that.
much like me where remake an account has no appeal to you. You want to keep everything on one
Mhm.
account.
Yeah, that's where like my hesitation in the beginning came from my main account, because I
Yep.
had so much on there.
Yeah.
So knowing like that I could possibly make the switch if the switch is interesting enough, so I wouldn't completely exclude it. But for now, like while I still play it, I like to set myself very long term goals.
Yeah. That's cool. Do you have skilling goals?
Outside of scaling pets, no.
So you have
So
no
I'll
XP goals at all.
no, not
What if
really.
you
I mean,
completed everything that you kind of want to do? Obviously, that's not going to happen, but
yeah,
would you then go for skilling, or is that just off the table of going for 200 mils?
yeah. 200 mils are not
Cup of
my
tea.
forte. No, no. I enjoy skilling a lot. Like I'm a big fan of skilling. I've like a couple skilling methods that I could do for hours and hours on end and not get bored of it. But outside of skilling pets, like once I get the pet in a skill, I don't really have the desire to gain experience points in
Yeah.
a skill now.
And there's probably just more progressive things you can do, like just more content you can do that feels like you're progressing further, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than just going for XP, you could be getting another item somewhere or another pet.
Yeah, I feel like I understand why people enjoy skilling so much. Just the like continuous like progression, seeing like what you put in is what you get back, like
Yeah.
not RNG based at all. But I sometimes do really like the RNG based thing, like part of this game. I am honestly a big fan of the like RNG type of thing where you can get really lucky on something and it feels good for a bit, but later you're like, damn, I got lucky on that. Or you go really dry on something, and if you get it after that long grind, it feels even better because you put so much time into it.
Okay, so I just saw this. Zandy asks RS3 when. I'm curious. I skipped over this because I just didn't even care. Like, just seemed weird. But what are your thoughts, I guess, on everybody moving to RS3? Or
I
not everybody, but people have tried it out, and I guess a lot of people have already reverted back. But
Well, honestly, a lot of my friends are making the move, and I notice how much fun they're having on there. So I'm like very supportive of it because I know that they've like, especially when they've been like not enjoying their time on Old School for a very long time, and they find like they ignite that fire of having fun at RuneScape again on the other RuneScape, then that's totally fine with me. You know, as long
yeah,
as I can like still stay in contact with them, so like interact with them. Uh, I am totally fine with that, and I can understand that a different way of playing the game, even though it's still almost the exact same game, is can be very fun. It's almost like Trailblazer League. It's like just a different way of playing the game, and just a different type of PVM and stuff, and a different combat system is very intriguing to some people. So
yeah,
I'm yeah.
I agree. I'm cool with people doing whatever they enjoy. It is interesting
I
though.
yeah
That used to be the biggest meme was RS3 Dan's game. You know,
yeah
it's completely shifted. Now I'm seeing RS3 shit on my. I say RS3 shit. Enjoy whatever you want, but god damn it, like I see so much RS3 accomplishments on my Twitter right
yeah me
now. I'm
too.
like, dude, I don't care. I just don't want to see this. I don't know what you're. It's like people posting like World of Warcraft things. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
see this on my thing.
You
You know?
just have no idea what's going on, even though
Exactly.
it might be the exact same game. And I'll be supportive of it, but I'm still enjoying Old School RuneScape. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I just
you
don't know
go
what to
have
do
fun
because
there.
when I see it too much on Twitter, I almost fell into like mute people because I would rather see other things. I no offense, nothing personal, but I
Yeah.
haven't done it yet. But if I see it too much, it's like
Yeah. Or
enjoy yourself. But god damn it, I
I'll
followed you
remember
for
that for
old
the
school
future
content.
if I don't want to be blocked. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I
If
have
I,
no desire to play RS3, and I've seen a lot of people play it. Like it looks interesting, but at the same time, it doesn't have that like rhythm and that charming aspect of like tick manipulation and other things that I really enjoy about this game.
Everything is 4 tick on that game. That's what I've gotten from
That's so
most people.
interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any more topics. Do you have anything you'd like to ask?
No, honestly, I'm honestly surprised with how far we've gotten because I always like admire how well people can tell stories and how long people can like ramble on about stuff, and I feel like I'm always really bad at that. And just the fact that I don't know how long have we been going for.
2 hours 47 minutes.
Yeah, that's way more than I expected. I thought we'd be done in like an hour. So
Yeah, that's what it always
I'll
feels like. God, I'm like already like in pain waiting to re-listen to the first like 5 minutes of this again where I fucked up Mulgoat Kirby. I couldn't think of his name. It's so cringe that every single time when a Sae Bae Cast ends, I'm just like, this is gonna be painful to listen back to. I just think of the moments where I can't articulate.
At least you did remember it after like a decent amount of
Yeah,
time.
I just had to
You
shut
could
my
have still
mouth and
been
just
sitting in
think
here
for
and like not know.
yeah, think for a second. But shout out Mulgoat Kirby. Got to give him a shout out because that was, uncalled for me to forget your name. But we will be getting some PVMers on. I'm really excited to get him on eventually. But yeah, Novesey, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Thank you so much
And
for having me. It was a pleasure.
yeah, and the time does go by fast, doesn't it?
It
Like,
does.
yeah. But we will include your Twitter and Twitch. And is there anything else you'd like in the description of the video?
No, just those two. It's more than
Okay.
fine.
Twitter and Twitch. Guys, go follow Novesey on Twitter. and Twitch because so are I mean, it feels like you stream more than me now. I mean, honestly, but how
Yeah,
do you stream most days now currently?
yeah, I stream 6 days of the week now and take my Sundays off.
That's awesome. Well, go follow him,
Yeah.
guys. He's a really fun streamer to watch. He's been doing a lot of clues, searching for those flared trousers and other things. So, you still don't have those, right?
Yeah, I still don't. I'm at 1150 now with no ham and no flare trousers. So.
Damn. Are those all after the ham update and everything?
Yeah.
Jeez. It's pretty bad. Do you have Monk's G?
Yeah, I have the bottoms.
Okay.
So that's
I don't
very
have any
spoon.
Monk's G, and I'm like 2300 or something.
Whew. Yeah, those are like the main thing that hold people back from completing that log, right?
Yeah. I'm missing Staff of Bob the Cat and
Oh, you're missing that? No.
both Monk G's and then like 2 other things. Yeah. Well, Novesey, thank you so much again for being on, and we will catch you guys on the next Sae Bae Cast, and there might, just this next week, might be a special guest on, so we'll have to see, but
Ooh.
anyway, guys, take it easy. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Goodbye.